Fox Valley Orthopedics, official partner of Judson Athletic. Thank you for Dr. Joshua Alpert, Judson University team physician, and Fox Valley Orthopedics for the support of Judson Scholar athletes. The starters for the Saints on defense are as follows. Number 90, defensive end, junior from Joliet, Ryan King. Number 52, nose guard, junior, Hillsdale, Illinois, Michael Johnson. Number 94, defensive end, sophomore from Wilmington, Illinois. Welcome to the field, your Judson University Eagles.
On the campus of Streamwood High School in Streamwood, Illinois, I'm Jared Schlensky welcoming you into this Midwest League Conference matchup between the St. Francis Fighting Saints and the Judson University Eagles. A good one on hand as both teams coming in with a little bit of momentum, but St. Francis arguably a little bit more, have won 3 straight. As for Judson, they did get their first win 2 weeks ago here at home against Madonna, and now they're looking to get back on track against a very talented St. Francis team, Ryan, that is playing really well right now.
Yeah, Jared, this is a really great team, no doubt about it, and it's headed by Joe Curry, who's in his 11th season as the head coach of the Saints. So this is a team that knows what it is, or at least a program that knows exactly what it is. And today we're going to see 2 teams that love to run the ball. I think that Judson has kind of found its identity here recently in that, the offense isn't the same as it was last year. Yes, they have an extremely talented Ovante Vickers on their team, but everybody knows they have him. So what have they been doing the past 3 weeks? They've been turning and handing it to Brandon Mackey, who's had an incredible last 3 weeks, 630 yards, 6 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. So let's look for Brandon Mackey today.
Right now, we're going to take a minute to acknowledge a prayer here before the start of the game. When we return, we'll preview both teams' offenses and defenses, and then before you know it, we'll be ready to kick off. It's Judson at home against St. Francis, and it's coming up next here on the Judson Eagles Radio Network.
Father God, we thank you for today. We thank you for the honor to play and watch the game that we love. We ask for protection over every player that is on the field. God, we ask for strength, for protection. God, we ask that you are glorified in everything that is said and done today. We pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
As we honor America and our heroes who defend our freedom with the playing of our national anthem, we ask you please remove your hats, rise, and remain standing at this time.
The Judson Eagles and the St. Francis Fighting Saints have taken the field, and following the coin toss, we will be ready for kickoff in this Midwest League Conference matchup. I'm Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. We've got a good one on hand between the Fighting Saints out of St. Francis, who have won 3 straight and dominated Trinity International 39-7 in their previous game. This is a team that has had a lot of success early on running the football behind starting quarterback Sam Tumulty, but Tumulty got it going with his arm for the first time this season, and he has now proven that he is a true dual-threat quarterback.
Yeah, last week against Trinity International, 16-25 for 259, a touchdown. He took 4 sacks, but he also got it going with his legs a bit too. 18 attempts with his legs, and it was 47 yards for him, 2 touchdowns. So Tumulty is a dual-threat quarterback, somebody that you have to keep your eye on, maybe even keep a spy on as we go through the course of this game. But Jared, This is an interesting game for Judson. It seems like a game where they can come out and run the ball and have some success doing the things that they like, but this is also a team that to start the season was ranked 25th in the nation in the NAIA. So it's a big game. They're going up against a tough opponent, and an opponent that shut them out last year. 34-0 was the score last year when these two teams met in Joliet.
Yes, it
Judson
was.
has won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half. St. Francis will receive.
3-2 overall, undefeated in conference play. Meanwhile, Judson just 1-4 and still looking for their first conference win. But they have found something with Brandon Mackey. You'll see him involved in the return game. You'll see him involved in the backfield. You'll even see him line up in the slot. Over 200 total yards now in 3 straight weeks. He's a dangerous player when the ball's in his hands.
Incredibly dangerous. And again, as I said just a few moments ago, I feel like Judson's finding a new identity for themselves. Getting the ground game more involved in their offense. Yes, we've seen them, have a crazy air attack, especially last year, but this year things are a little bit different. And teams are double teaming Levante Vickers, and it's harder to get him the ball down the field in open space. And so what do? They balance out their attack a bit. They bring in Brandon Mackey, who again in the last 3 weeks has got 630 yards and 6 touchdowns. When we called that Madonna game 3 weeks ago, Jared, this offense had not yet had a rushing touchdown. Since then, Mackey, of course, has those 6 touchdowns.
It was Judson who won the toss. They deferred, and it'll be St. Francis to receive to begin this one. Judson in the navy blue and gold helmets. On the opposite side of the field are the St. Francis Fighting Saints with the brown bottoms and the white uniforms. We've talked offense, but let's talk defense a little bit. You look at this St. Francis team. They are really tough on 4th down. There's a lot of teams that have had success this season on 3rd and 4th down. Well, St. Francis defensively on 4th down, just 1 for 9. You better be really confident if you're going to go for it against this team.
Well, and convert your 3rd downs, right? Like, be efficient. Make sure you're on task. Make sure that you're keeping things short for your offense so that when it comes to 3rd down, you're not having to really think about going for it on 4th down. You know what this defense brings, and this is a really upperclassman-led defense. 5 juniors, 2 seniors, and I'm looking for a big day from Michael Johnson. That's a name to watch as we move through this game. A really athletic defensive tackle for the Saints, and he's going to have his hands full trying to stop Brandon Mackey.
Dave Dunbar to kick off for Judson. Scott Tumulty, the brother of Sam, and Owen McGuire back to return. The kick, it's a pooch. Hauled in just beyond the 35 and up to about the 40 is Max Briscoe. And good starting field position for the St. Francis Fighting Saints to open the game.
Yeah, not necessarily the opening kickoff that you want. You'd like to see that one go through the end zone, but inevitably we do get the ball here to start on the 40, and you're right, it brings out Sam Tumulty, who this year is 56% completion, 663 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air.
Please reset the game clock to 14 minutes, 50 seconds, 14:50.
On the ground for the quarterback, Sam Tumulty.
Tumulty, a transfer from Augustana College, is only a sophomore. Takes the field with 2 in the backfield with him. And at the top of your screen has 2 receivers split out. Dezion Jordan, the one to the furthest on the outside. You got to look out for him. He's his go-to target.
5 catches, 100 yards last week.
Low snap. Tumulty gives it off to the man in the backfield. That's Keenan Haley. And Haley out past the 45, close to midfield, a good pickup on 1st down.
Yeah, and that right there is just, all right, well, let's see what they have up front. We're going to run it right up the gut. If they stop them, great. If not, we get right there 8 yards. Keenan Haley, a Quincy University transfer. That's a D3 school.
Brings up 2nd and about a yard. You don't see too many quarterbacks where number 22, but that's Tumulty. 3 down linemen. Give again to Haley, and Haley hit in the backfield for a loss. Good pursuit on the outside by Josh Mason and Chance Krajin.
Yeah, Krajin, the anchor of this Judson defense. A junior, stands at 6 foot, weighs about 215, and the guy's got 32 tackles on the year. He's in the middle of everything. He's a great leader for the defense as well.
Couple of runs here to begin the game. A loss of 2 on that one is going to bring up 3rd and 3.
Defense is going to pin their ears back here.
Tumulty, play action, dumps it off to Haley, and Haley tackled short of the marker.
Yeah, he's
a
going to be
strong open field tackle by Judson's Matriz Rawls, filling in for the safety Trey Sayers.
Yeah, Trey Sayers is a huge loss for this team, but Matriz Rawls coming up and making that stop on 4th down. Now the defense with probably their biggest test of the day, 4th and short. Who are you going to be today? Time to be stout right here at the 50.
And St. Francis is going to keep the offense on the field. 4th and less than a yard. They're in the shotgun. 3 to the bottom of your screen. Tumulty keeps. He has it and then some. Into Judson territory around the 40. He only needed 1. He gets about 9.
And that's what running out of the shotgun can do for a quarterback, right? It gives him the better angles to go off the tackles. In that situation, short yardage, you don't necessarily have to run the QB sneak, though it's kind of a cheat code in football. You can go off the tackle and still gain some substantial yards like Tumulty did there.
This St. Francis team comes in averaging just 21 points per game, but they have won 3 straight and scored a season-high 39 last week. Tumulty at the line of scrimmage. Takes the snap, all sorts of time. Airs it out the opposite way and nearly intercepted and deflected into the hands of the receiver, Jason Hartsfield.
Yeah, I mean, talk about concentration right there, right? The DB undercuts right there, gets a hand on it. You think it might be a pass breakup. Instead, it ends up in the arms of a receiver. That's a sophomore Hartsfield coming in and making the acrobatic catch.
It was Matriz Rawls getting a piece of it. Unfortunately, went right into the hands of Jason Hartsfield for a pickup of about 5 on the play. At the Judson 35, Tumulty keeps and does not get a whole lot there. Good pursuit at the nose tackle position by Josh Mason.
Yeah, and again, just somebody you got to keep your eyes on, and they're showing you that they're going to go up the middle, they're going to go off tackle with their quarterback runs, and Tumulty, again, we've mentioned it, we'll keep mentioning it throughout this broadcast, he's a dangerous runner.
This is not an offense that is going to score quickly. They're going to possess the ball, and they're going to run the football. Come in running just about 140 yards a game. 3rd and short. Tumulty keeps on the option and hit for a loss. The first one there was Clifton Jimerson, and it's going to bring up 4th down again.
I think Krajine got in there too, so Jimerson and Krajine coming in big right there to bring up another 4th down. And this is a big spot again. Like, this is the 2nd, 4th down of the drive. You got to come up with a big stop right here, dig your heels in, and then get your offense started. Again, you're only going to have so many opportunities today. Both of these teams like running the ball. This is a run-heavy offense, right? 224 rushes to just 101 passes on the year. So you're going to have to come up with a big stop in order to give your offense a chance.
4th down and 5. Tumulty throws. Intercepted! Down the sideline. Keeps going. May take it to the house. And he will. Matriz Rawls. He got his hand on one earlier. This time he corrals it and takes it for a pick 6.
Matriz Rawls have a game, right? Already one drive, and he's already impacted this game in a major way. The pass breakup, the pick 6, the first defensive touchdown for the Eagles this year, and that is exactly what you need to beat a team like St. Francis.
Undercut the route of Jason Hartsfield. Just a simple
Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 5 seconds, 10:05.
Interception of the year for Judson as well. That is their 10th forced turnover on the season, and I think they're sending the offense out for 2.
A 58-yard pick 6 has given Judson the early 6-0 lead.
Please reset the game clock to 10:05, 10:05.
For a better start if you're head coach Poplazik.
Now, I think what you see right here, and I just in watching some of the warm-ups and stuff, this might be kind of a pocket mover, come down to this sideline and throw it to Avante Vickers on kind of a fade route. But they do have two DBs over in that area.
First time we get to see the Judson offense, and it is Isaiah Carrillo in at quarterback. He started the year as the backup. He's here right now on the 2-point try. Carrillo Pitch to Mackey, and he is in with ease. An excellent start for Judson, an 8-0 lead. We'll take a timeout. When we return, it'll be Judson kicking off to St. Francis for the second time today. Montrez Roll on fourth down, picks off Sam Tumulty, takes it 68 yards to the house, and it's an early 8-0 lead following the successful two-point try by the Judson Eagles.
Yeah, and that's a gutsy thing to do early on in the game, but when you get an opportunity like that after a pick six early, right? We're only 5 minutes into this game. Why not go for two? Why not try to give yourself that much more of an advantage and to send the defense right back out there? They had a pretty productive first drive, so, they're humming right now. This could be kind of a momentum builder for the Judson defense.
Dave Dunbar kicks, fair caught at the 41 by Max Briscoe. And for the second time today, good field position for the St. Francis Fighting Saints.
Right. Well, and I think that we're going to see a little anger out of this offense now, right? You have a turnover. Now you really want to try to right things, but to err on the side of caution, you can't get too over-aggressive trying to fix a mistake because usually that leads to a second mistake, right? So they got to come out here and get back to.
Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 9 seconds, 10:09.
Those fourth downs, that's the only time that they've passed. So, and both of them were defended well.
Sam Tumulty and the Fighting Saints offense back to work. Picked up a fourth down earlier in that previous drive. Tried to make it two in a row, and while Tumulty tested Montrez Rawls, and he found out the hard way he can play a 68-yard pick six. First down and 10 from the St. Francis 41. Tumulty back to pass, steps up in the pocket, and is dropped for a sack. Bryce Heary, the first one there. And a good start for this Judson defense so far today.
See a little Jermaine Ross, the senior from Birmingham, Alabama, flash in there as well. And, you need to get some of those, right? Pressure the quarterback. You got to get on this guy. Can't give him too much time because he's an escape artist. He's good with his feet. We've talked about it. And so, good sack right there.
Loss of two brings up second and 12. Tumulty rolls right. Has a lot of space in the first down pass midfield. Just one man to beat. He couldn't beat him, was tripped up. But nonetheless, a good pickup there on second down and 12.
Yeah, that kid's got a good burst. Sam Tumulty, again, off the right side tackle. We've yet to see him run it our way yet, going a lot to the top side of the formation. But that picks up a first down, and I think it kind of speaks to the contain level that you need from Jared Brooks and Jontrell Mitchell on the outside. Yeah, these guys are people that can go get the quarterback, but in this situation, you also have to have a little bit of pause, too, to try to keep him inside the pocket.
Two receivers to the bottom of your screen, one at the top. That's Dazion Jordan. Tumulty gives to his man Haley, and Haley stuffed, maybe gets a yard or two. Josh Mason again plugging that hole early on up front.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good push, too. If you look at the offensive line for St. Francis, it's not super upperclassman-led, right? They got one junior, Matt Knutson, playing left guard, but other than that, it's a freshman at left tackle and center, and Matt Alston and Ryan Heersink, respectively. Sophomores on the right side of the line with Logan Miller and Ashton Sorge. So we'll see what kind of push the Judson D-line gets today, but that was a pretty good play right there for Josh Mason.
Second down and about 9. Tumulty fakes the motion, keeps it, and gets nowhere. An excellent start for this front four of Judson. That time, plugging that lane was Lamont Allen.
Little E.J. Glover, too. I think I saw him getting pumped up in the backfield. Love to see it. But you know what I love about that tackle right there? There's 5 blue jerseys swarming the ball carrier. That's how you handle a guy like that. Everybody's got to be super in sync. Everybody's got to be super alert about who the ball carrier might be, and that right there is a great play by Judson's defense.
3rd down and long. So far today, St. Francis 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Blitz comes. It's picked up. Tumulty over the middle of the field. Incomplete. Way too high for his intended target. Good coverage on the back end there by Judson's Dave Dunbar. He was looking for Trenton Perry there.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 straight pass plays that we've seen that have not been well executed by St. Francis, and maybe we're seeing why they're so run-heavy, is that was a clear miscommunication between Perry and Tumulty that led to a deep incompletion and really could have ended up in the arms of another DB had somebody been playing a little bit deeper and over the top.
First time today we will see the St. Francis punt unit. Brian Mayday gets off a high punt, fair caught, and caught down to his knees by Ryan Ote. And for the first time today, we get to see the Judson offense, and they're already up 8-0.
Yeah, we get to see him for the first time in full capacity, right? They've already run one successful play. That was the Mackey toss to the left side for the 2-point conversion. But today we're seeing Isaiah Carrillo under center, which is different from the last time that you and I were here. But Carrillo last week did play in the game against St. Ambrose. And this is a more mobile quarterback. He can run, he can throw on the pocket. He's also got a big arm when he stays in the pocket.
He's probably going to rely on Mackey, who was the first Conference Player of the Week selection after that win against Madonna 2 weeks ago. First play, a pass to the far side is caught by Keontae Fox.
Yeah, and you know, in that situation right there, those little 5-yard out routes with a DB right on the receiver can be really difficult to throw into, right? But that was perfect placement right there. Led Fox with great accuracy.
Pickup of about 4, 2nd down. Carrillo now gives to Mackey, who has a first down and then some. Brought down by Scott Tumulty. And a good start offensively for Judson.
Yeah, last week, Mackey with 25 carries had 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this is a guy right now that is absolutely taking over the NAIA. He is helping this Judson run game get to number 16 nationally in terms of yards per game. He's also 2nd in the nation in rush yards.
Injured player for Judson, and we are going to take a timeout here on the Judson YouTube network. 8-0 our score. Judson on top. The pick 6 so far. The difference from Mitrell's Raw has all the scoring in this one. Judson 8, St. Francis 0 here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network.
That is appreciated. That's Siebens that was down.
Injured player was Alex Siebens, able to get up and run off to the sideline. Can only hope he's okay. Judson out to a good start, Ryan. 8-0 lead in the offense. 2 plays, 1 first down.
Yeah, well, and they ripped off a big run on the ground already.
They go right back to Brandon Mackey. Another big hole down the far sideline, close to the marker. And, man, Mackey in this offensive line taking advantage of this poor run defense early on.
Most definitely, man. And there's holes wide open for Brandon Mackey to run through. It's not hard to be a running back when your offensive line is opening up semi-truck holes on the left side of the line for you to run through. After that, it's just making linebackers look dumb.
Pickup of 8 sets up 2nd and short. Let's see if Judson takes a shot. Carrillo with time, airs it out over the middle of the field, is intercepted. Angel Mata still on his feet. A late flag comes in. Now a second flag. And pending the flag, this is going to be a return of about 10 yards and back to Judson territory.
Yeah, and I felt like that might have been a little bit of a forced throw. That was his first read, obviously, on that play. Carrillo with not a ton of play experience yet as a starter, but Angel Mata, an Indiana University transfer. That's the Indiana University, the D1 school. Angel Mata with 3 interceptions on the year already. That was number 4.
And he read that one, undercut that throw. Didn't look like he put it out there quite as far as he wanted to. And let's see what the penalty is now.
Yeah, because you're right. That's a much easier catch to make if you're led, if you're Ovante Vickers and you're able to get your hands out there. You're able to do a little something about the DB that's on
There
your
are
back.
fouls by both teams on the play after the interception. Illegal block in the back on Judson. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, blindside block on the return team. That penalty will be enforced 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Penalties on both teams. Judson called for a block in the back, and St. Francis called for an illegal blindside block. And this is going to back them up to their own 37, but regardless, the interception counts, and now both teams with an early interception.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you're Carrillo, you got to come back to the sideline. You got to get with your OC and your play caller and just go through those motions and understand you're going to make mistakes, right? This is your second start. You haven't thrown that many passes. You're going to make mistakes. You just got to figure out the why in that situation.
Sam Tumulty, first down, rolls left. And brought down by Maitrez Rawls from behind. He's had himself a heck of a game, a pick six, a pass breakup, and now a shoestring tackle there on first down to keep Tumulty to about 4.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a quarterback that's running outside, if your linebackers aren't able to keep contained, then it turns into a big game for the safeties. Rawls coming up right there to make a big play.
Low snap. Tumulty picks it up, goes to his left again, lowers the shoulder, and doesn't get a whole lot there. Good tackle by Heary and Dunbar.
Yeah, a little gang tackle right there. I think I see a little Jermaine Ross flashing out there. Oh, nope, I got the wrong roster, so it's not Jermaine Ross.
Brings up third down. St. Francis 0 for 3 on third down so far today. They have picked up a fourth down, and, well, the difference in this one on the scoreboard, the pick six from Maitrez Walls. 5-man rush. Tumulty throws on the move and finds his man for a first down inside the Judson 40. It was Kaman Karan there on the catch.
Yeah, and led him perfectly. Had a DB on him, but put it in a spot that was catchable for only Kimand. And so a great pickup right there. Get you on the other side of the 50. And this is about as far as the offense has been today, about where they threw the interception the last time around.
Pickup of 21. They give him all the way to the 39. 7 in the box. Jet sweep goes to Karan. No, he faked it. Tumulty almost escaped, but can't get away from E.J. Glover. An excellent tackle by Glover there. Tumulty gets nothing.
We called his name a ton in the Madonna game, and it's no surprise. E.J. Glover, a really fantastic athlete, has a nose for the football, can really go after anybody and get a good tackle in.
Second down and long.
This is where you want them too, right? You want to keep an offense that's run heavy. You want to keep them behind schedule on in terms of downs, right? So second and long, this is a good spot to be if you're Judson.
The Saints 1 for 4 on third down. Motion out Daniel McLaurin. Tumulty gives to Haley, and Haley does not get a whole lot there. I'm surprised by that play call.
Yeah, I don't know that they have a ton of faith in Tumulty's arm right now. Obviously, we've talked about the pick six a ton already, but, you know, this is, again, this offense likes to run. And so probably on second down, not the play call you need, but knowing what Judson does and allowing 208 yards on the ground per game, this is a situation where you also can't give up on it, especially early on in the game. It's a war of attrition at that point.
DeJuan Gavin at the bottom of your screen along with Liam Eldridge. Tumulty drops back, rolls right, throws on the move, and dropped. No, they give him the catch. Really close to the marker. He looked like he bobbled it, but he must have possessed it just long enough.
I think they're going to mark him about a yard short, and that is an absolute shame. Jontrell Mitchell came free, and I think he just got tackled by the turf monster, or else he would have had a real good shot at taking Sam Tumulty to the ground or at least getting a hand on that football that went to the far sideline.
And this is going to bring up 4th down again, the 3rd time today St. Francis has gone for it on 4th down. They're 1 for 2. Haley, really close. I don't think he got it. Josh Mason was there. This might be a turnover on downs. Josh Mason, what a play.
Clifton Jemerson, too. Like the whole right side of that offensive line, or defensive line rather, just absolutely came up huge right there, and a gigantic stop. Again, Judson's defense is showing up big time right now here in the first quarter.
They've got a pick 6, a punt, and now a 4th down stop to give them the ball back. And Judson out to an 8-0 lead with 1:28 to go here in the first quarter. I don't know if you could have drawn up a much better start if you're head coach Dan Poplazik.
No, and I mean, how excited is the defensive coordinator, Patton Fitzpatrick, right now, too? I mean, this is a team that gives up 46, almost 47 points per game, and to have a start to a game like this, he's got to be elated with this.
Carrillo fakes the jet sweep to Mackey, keeps and loses a yard on the play. It was Logan Johnson there to bring him down.
Logan Johnson coming from that left outside linebacker spot last week against Trinity, 5 tackles and a forced fumble. In this matchup last year, he had 2 sacks.
Carrillo does have a couple completions, also has a pick. He keeps, now throws to the flat. There's Siebens, and Siebens does not get anything there on the designed RPO. Good job on the outside by the defensive back, Jalen Cooper.
Now, that's a situation right there. Had you been completing stuff further down the field and the safeties feel like they have to play further back, you might have a situation for that screen pass to Siebens to break open a little bit, but you haven't given them enough reason to be scared and play back yet. You can see almost everybody is within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
3rd and long, 3-man rush, intercepted again. This time it's by the free safety, Nick Mabutis. And another
offside.
swing in momentum
Defense number
here
41.
as St. Francis
5-yard
gets
penalty.
their 2nd pick.
3rd down.
But will it stand? I don't think so.
It could be that was an incomplete pass. It certainly was thrown a bit low, but if you're Isaiah Carrillo, you gotta look for your second read. You're throwing it through the teeth of defenses right there, and that's a really hard pass to complete for anybody, let alone in your second start in college football. That's one where you just have to say, okay, there's 3 guys covering him. There's got to be somebody who's single covered or open in the flats somewhere.
Somebody jumped on St. Francis. Carrillo must have seen it. That's why he threw it down the field. Draw play. Fumble. Picked up by St. Francis. Michael Johnson picks it up. Carrillo and Mackey couldn't get the exchange down, and now this 2nd turnover forced by these Fighting Saints.
Yeah, I said Michael Johnson's name early on in the broadcast as somebody to keep your eye on. A super athletic defensive tackle here, weighing in at 285. The guy's a wrecking ball, and right there he was so quick into the backfield that he was able to get in between a handoff from Carrillo to Mackey.
Best starting field position now for the St. Francis Fighting Saints at the Judson 30. And they're down 7-0, down 8-0, but they've got the momentum here.
Talk about how happy Patton Fitzpatrick must be, but the offensive side of things, they can't be too happy with Judson's offense on consecutive turnovers, right?
Haley on the stretch run picks up about 6. No, I imagine they're not too happy. And that should be the end of the first quarter. The pick 6 by Maitrez Rawls, the difference so far. Judson then goes for 2 on the rushing attempt from Brandon Mackey, and it's 8-0 Eagles. After 1, we'll be back shortly.
different, change anything up? It's good. Okay.
The start of the second quarter, couple of turnovers by both teams. Judson has turned it over twice. St. Francis has turned it once. But the difference, the pick six from Maitrez Walls, that was on the first drive to begin the game, a 68-yard pick six. And it has given Judson an 8-0 lead.
Little T-form here in the backfield.
Tumulty rolls right. Has some blocking ahead, but does not get a whole lot. A nice tackle from behind by Justin Soto.
Yeah, I mean, they run to the short side of the field right there. Everybody crashes. Good execution there by the defense. Now 3rd and about 3. You really got to tighten up here. They do have a kicker on their team, St. Francis does, that can nail these field goals from this far out. That's Brian Mayday.
Mayday so far this season, 2 for 2 with a long of 42. First down for St. Francis.
Timeout,
and
Judson.
a timeout
Their first of the
taken
half.
by Judson. We'll keep it here. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori. An excellent start for the Judson Eagles. The pick six from Maitrez Rawls on the 2-point conversion, but since 2 turnovers.
Yeah, well, it's just not been a great start for the offense. Great start for the defense for Judson, but if we're looking at the offense, Carrillo's 1 for 2. He hasn't been given a ton of opportunities yet to throw the ball. Brandon Mackey, though, looks like he's picking up where he's left off. 3 carries for 19 yards and a long of 15. It's just a matter of catching a little bit of momentum on offense right now, and that's, Judson's defense has to give it back to them. But I think if you are Dan Paplazik and Jake Lemming on the offensive side of things in terms of play calling, you just have to put some momentum builders, right? Some confidence builders in there for Isaiah Carrillo. Couple slants, couple stuff to the flats, just to make him feel like, okay, I'm good. I can complete some passes. That's what we'll look for when we see Judson go back onto the field. But for right now, it's 3rd and short.
3rd and short for St. Francis here in the second quarter, 14-17. Judson on top, 8-0. Tumulty has been a busy guy today. He's either been running or throwing. Here he runs, has a good hole down the sideline, still on his feet. No, they're going to rule him out right around the 5, and Tumulty there on 3rd and short. Nearly takes it to the house.
Yeah, that was a zone run right there off the right side and found the hole, and even though he had David Dunbar beating feet behind him, he's fast. He's so fast he makes fast people look slow, and so Tumulty down inside the 5.
The 11th rush of the day.
Down inside the 5.
The 11th rush of the day already for Tumulty. He came in as the leader in rushing and passing, and well, not a surprise to see him getting the majority of the touches early in this one. 1st and goal from the 9 they rule him out at. Bad snap. Tumulty rolls left. Tries to cut it back and can't. Hit for a loss by Clifton Jimerson. And this defense continues to bend but not break.
Yeah, well, so many times you get a slippery quarterback like Tumulty in the backfield like that, and you see a guy like Jimerson gets just a hand on a jersey. Typically that doesn't result in a sack, but good strong hands there by the junior from Park Forest, Illinois.
A loss of 5 makes it 2nd and goal from the 14. Top of your screen is Alessio Battaglia. Let's see if they take a shot to him here. Tumulty looks left, and through the hands of his receiver was looking for Karan. Pretty good coverage on the back end by Maitrez Rawls. What a game for the freshman.
Yeah, I mean, put in the slot right there is a safety, and he still comes up with a big stop. Just enough of a hand gets in there to make it incomplete, and that's a huge play right there for Maitrez Rawls, a freshman from Florida.
Brings up 3rd down still from the 14. I'm curious to see if this is 4-down territory for the Fighting Saints. They currently trail 8-0.
You would have to assume it is.
Another low snap. Blitz comes. Tumulty escapes for a moment, throws to the opposite side, and has his man for 6. Jason Hartsfield on the 14-yard catch from Sam Tumulty has put the Fighting Saints within 2.
Yeah, Bryce Heary's the guy who flashed on the far side of the line and gave the Eagles a chance at stopping Tumulty right there, but he came a little bit too far up the field. Tumulty makes a great play to escape it and go a little bit deeper up the field and then make a great cross-body throw.
And the Fighting Saints, after looking like they were initially going to go for 2, are going to kick the PAT. Brian Mayday out. Low snap. PAT is up and through, and with 12:39, we've got a good one on hand here in MSFA Conference play. It's Judson 8, St. Francis 7. We'll be back shortly here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. Sam Tumulty finds his man Jason Hartsfield on 3rd and goal from the 14. The PAT is successful, and we've got ourselves a nail-biter, 8-7 here in the first half. 12:39 to go. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. This one fair caught for right around the 20-yard line, and that's where the Judson offense will go to work. And, well, after the pick 6, 2 turnovers, back-to-back interceptions early on in this one.
Yeah, I talked about it during the last drive. Isaiah Carrillo's just got to come out and get a couple confidence-building throws in right here. Nothing fancy, nothing like that. Just come out, make some completions, and settle into this game because you really haven't had the best opportunity. Yeah, there's points on the board. They're not on your account. And so just come out here, settle in, feel comfortable, spread out a little bit, sit down, take your shoes off. Maybe not do that, but still, just feel comfortable here. That would be my message to Carrillo.
At the 24-yard line, Carrillo calls for the shotgun snap. Mackey makes the first man miss, but will lose yards on the play. Excellent job on the outside of containing by this defensive line of St. Francis. This defense has played well early on here, Ryan.
Yeah, and I think it's the front three really that's doing a great job so far. It's Ryan King, Michael Johnson, Cameron Holman. All those guys are in almost on every play. Ryan King had a big sack the last drive, and that's that junior transfer from Wartburg College. I only hope he wasn't a wrestler at Wartburg, because if he was, that's a scary man. A great wrestling program out there at Wartburg College in the D3 level.
Loss of 4. Carrillo rolls right. Spins and is dropped for a sack. Michael Johnson brings down Carrillo. Second time he has gotten one of the ball carriers down in the backfield, and a really good start just continues to be the case here for this St. Francis defense.
Well, yeah, Michael Johnson right now, man, a sack, a fumble, and the recovery, and he is an absolute wrecking ball right now. Caleb Davis is a freshman, and he has his hands full right now trying to bring an end to Michael Johnson's reign of terror on this offense.
Back-to-back losses on the play is going to bring up 3rd down and about 20.
I think we got Jordan West in the slot right here. He's going
toss
to be the lead
to
blocker.
Mackey, has a bit of a hole, but is not going to get enough for the first down. Brought down by Mackay Van. And now it'll be Judson to punt.
Yeah, and you have to punt here.
Better than a turnover, and outside of the 2 losses, a good pickup there on third down just to give your punter a little bit of breathing room.
Certainly. And this is should be Tomas Carrillo. At least that's what we were told earlier in the week. It's looking like, though, we have a different situation now in terms of punting.
Yeah, Trace Sayers is hurt, who had done most of the punting, and it's Carrillo, the quarterback, to punt. And back to return is Tumulty. And this is a good punt. That's going to take a Judson bounce and pin St. Francis back inside their own 20. Wow, you talk about flipping the field right there.
I was going to say, could you pass with your foot? That was a great punt by Carrillo. And, man, if you can get Vickers on a 9 route, just have him kick it down there if that's legal.
Here comes the St. Francis offense back on the field. They have turned it over once, and it's responsible for the only score for this Judson team, a pick 6 by Maitrez Rawls. However, Tumulty on third down was able to find his man, Jason Hartsfield, from 14 yards out, and this is just a 1-point game. 8-7 our score.
Yeah, time to get back to things. If you're Judson's defense, yeah, that was a short drive. You didn't get a long break, but you just have to battle here and find a way.
First down carry by Haley does not get a whole lot there.
See Krajin in there trying to strip that ball away. Not quite a peanut punch, but certainly trying to get that ball free and set up some good position with a fumble.
9:55 to play here in the first half. Both teams with touchdowns, but Judson, a successful 2-point try, leads 8-7. One receiver at the bottom of your screen, 2 to the opposite side. Give to Haley. Hops over a man and has the first down out past the 25. Wow, he showed his ability to leap there.
Yeah, and that was Krajin with the tackle, but always fun to see a football player go airborne when he's progressing the ball up the field. That's always one of the most exciting plays.
New set of downs for the Fighting Saints, who, after that pick 6 to begin the game, have picked it up offensively. Still down, though. Tumulty takes the high snap, gives to Haley, and brought down by E.J. Glover around the 30. He's had himself a heck of a game early on.
Feels like the Saints are just going to start, I don't even know that they necessarily need to throw the ball right now. They're starting to plot their way down the field with a little bit of runs here and there. Just, little yardage, just keep yourself on schedule. That's what they are looking like they're going to right now.
A little bit of a hurry up, too. Tumulty escapes, has all sorts of green, makes another man miss into Judson territory, and all the way out to the Judson 34. Tumulty, with his longest run today, has this offense moving here in the second quarter.
And a heck of a screen by one of the referees out there. Kind of just stepped in front of a linebacker who maybe had a line on Tumulty, but he's able to pick up a huge chunk right there on second down.
Quickly to the line. Here come the Saints. Haley goes nowhere. Josh Mason, along with Clifton Jimerson, plug the hole. And after a 38-yard run, that one maybe gets a yard.
That's what you need. That's what they were doing in the first 2 drives to this offense, is just plugging up that middle of the line and forcing them to go off tackle and seeing if they can execute that. Because that's much harder to do, to go off tackle. There's a lot more that has to go right.
Trenton Perry at the bottom of your screen, second down and 10. Tumulty gives to Haley, and Haley stuffed again. Brought down by Bryce Heary, who's had a busy day in the backfield so far for the Judson Eagles.
And Clifton Jimerson doing a good job of eating up some blocks to free up Heary. Heary, a freshman from Janesville, Wisconsin, he's having a really nice start to his college career. I've liked a lot of what I've seen from Bryce Heary.
Indeed, indeed. It's going to set up third down and 9. Let's see if Judson brings pressure. They've got 2 down linemen and 4 around the line of scrimmage. No, it's a 7-man rush. Tumulty, fade ball, far side, not on the same page as his receiver, Trenton Perry. A big stop there on 3rd and long.
Yeah, and great coverage from Dominique Carter, who was on Perry, and he's letting the sideline know that he locked up Perry pretty good. Really good push on the far side of the line, too. I think that was Heary that was closing in on what could have been a sack. Might have been John Trell Mitchell. A single-digit number is what I know for certain. But either way, great pass rush right there for Judson.
Brian Mayday to punt, and Ryan Ote stands inside his own 10 as the play clock gets down to 5. They might take this on purpose to have a little bit more breathing room on the punt. No, they do snap it. Nearly blocked a high punt.
Get out of there.
Drops at about the 5 and picked up inside the 5 by the St. Francis Fighting Saints, and another long field for the Judson Eagles.
Yeah, that play right there is all about communication. If you are the punt return man, you've got to be pointing to everybody where that ball is going, and you know that's the old poison. Like, you got to get everybody out of that area so it doesn't touch anybody on those real high kicks like that. Those can be difficult.
6:46 to go here in the first half. On top, 8-7. The difference: the pick 6 from Maitrez Rawls, and then Brandon Mackey able to get in on the 2-yard. 2-point conversion attempt. Carrillo calls for the snap. Gives to Mackey.
Yep.
Flag comes in, and this might be coming back as he doesn't get a whole lot there.
Yeah, they're going to get a hold right there on Jordan West, who is trying his best to hold the edge for Mackey. Well, did hold, but not the way you want him to.
Holding. Offense, number 64. Half the distance.
Call it on the
Replay
left
first down.
tackle. Derek
Correction, the
DeVries,
foul's on number 63.
or excuse me, 64, the left guard, Tyler Silverstrand. And this will pin Judson inside the 3 now. But regardless, Ryan, a good start for the Judson team. Lost last season to St. Francis 34-0, and considering the Saints have won 3 straight, this is up 8-7. I think you'd be happy if you're Coach Poplazik.
This is a great fight, no doubt. But this is a really hard spot to be in if you're the Eagles offense.
Mackey takes it on first down inside his own 3, gets back to about the 9. Give him about 6 yards there on first down.
And I think Mackey's everybody's favorite running back, right? Fights for more yards, always falling forward, a north and west kind of back. This is the type of running back that you want on your team. This guy can make a gigantic difference over the course of a game.
Second down. Another give to Mackey, who burst through a hole for a minute. Ball came out. And lucky for Judson, they dove on. I didn't see who forced it, but one of the early hits was put on by Nick Mabutas, who already has an interception today.
Yeah, Mabutas makes a big difference for this team. He's got 3 interceptions on the year, now 4. But that's a great tackle right there. Probably a little punch in there as well, as 3 people were bringing Brandon Mackey to the ground.
We have yet to see Judson pass on this drive. Early jump, no flag. Carrillo airs it out. And incomplete. Was looking for Alex Siebens there. I didn't see a flag, and now Judson will have no choice but to punt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first pass play I think that we've seen in 8 plays or so. It's got to be at least that. They didn't throw on the last drive. They didn't throw on this drive until 3rd down, and now you must punt. We'll see if Carrillo's got another mega punt in him. But that was probably a neutral zone infraction by the defense. I think that's what Carrillo was looking for and why he just slung it deep. But no call there, and it falls incomplete.
Low snap, bobbled by Dunbar. And, well, it's picked up, by Carrillo, and able to keep him from getting off the punt of the Saints. And they're going to go to work from the Judson 11.
And that is a disaster moment for Judson. You've played a really great game so far. You're coming to halftime with a lead, and you commit a play like that where you're only up 1 and now you give plus field positioning to a pretty good Saints offense that has been finding their groove here in the past couple of drives.
Big swing in momentum. St. Francis only down 8-7, but following the muffed punt or the inability to get the punt off, they're going to go to work from the Judson 13, they say. High snap. Tumley keeps and wrapped up by Josh Mason. He's been in the backfield already 2 or 3 times. His second tackle for a loss tonight.
And I can tell you one thing. You don't want Josh Mason to wrap you up and fall on you. That is a big boy. He plugs up gaps, and that was a great play by the 6'2", 310-pound sophomore from Washington, D.C., Josh Mason.
He's had a busy afternoon so far, and him and the Judson Eagles leading 8-7. Judson looks like they're bringing pressure. They do. Tumulty rolls left. Stutter step. Now tries to cut it inside and able to get inside the 10. A pretty good job there of stopping him on 2nd and 11.
Good pursuit by Clifton Jemerson off the backside to, keep that motor going all the way through the end of the play. He made a difference in that stop right there of Tumulty.
Third down and 8. They can still pick up a first down. They need to get to about the 3.
Huge play right here for the defense.
Tumulty pulls it out of the pocket of the other back and dumps it into the flat for 6. Finds his other back, Keenan Haley. Had 2 there. Faked it to the first one, dumps it off to the second one. And St. Francis has its first lead tonight.
Yeah, and Dominique Carter was the defensive back on that side who was in coverage against one of the receivers that was out on that play. But he was really fired up after that touchdown because he knew he probably got caught lacking on Alessio Battaglia just a little too hard, right? He should have looked down a little bit, maybe would have had a chance to knock Haley out of bounds. But instead we look for the extra point,
which is up and good, and St. Francis now leads 14-8, 3:59 to go in the first half. We'll be back shortly here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. An early 8-0 lead for Judson has quickly been evaporated by this St. Francis Fighting Saints football club. They've scored 14 unanswered and lead 14-8 with 3:59 to go. And, well, Ryan, right now, turnovers and the inability to get punts off the difference for this Judson team.
And stuff like that, right? Like silly little mistakes where we saw on the attempted punt moments ago how that ended up. It's just a little bit of execution errors right now for Judson, and I think that St. Francis has kind of come up to speed here in the last couple of drives, both offensively and defensively. This is a good team, again, one that was ranked in the top 25 to start this season and fell out pretty quickly after their Week 1 loss. But this is a good team, and Judson is holding strong. It would be really, really great for them to have a strong offensive drive to close out this half, though.
Glacier Arias recovers that one Avant Rowe picks that one up for Judson, and they will go to work at their own 17. Carrillo gives to Mackey, but a flag comes in. I think somebody jumped early, and they did. A false start against St.
Offense,
Francis.
number 67. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the way to start the drive, right?
And we've got a new quarterback in, too. Christian Miller is in for Carrillo. And we've seen both these guys play in numerous games already this season, but Coach Paplazik electing to go to the sophomore Miller.
Miller, the more established pocket passing type quarterback, a little bit different than Carrillo, who is more apt to use his legs.
Pocket holds up, throws a dart to Avante Vickers, and Vickers out to about the 30, has enough for the first down. You talk about a dart right there from Miller.
Well, it's absolute dart. He threw a fastball down the middle, and Avante Vickers catches it knowing well that he's going to get lit up. Great hands by the senior All-American.
Avante Vickers has his first catch today. Pistol formation. Miller through the hands of one receiver, nearly caught by Siebens. He was looking for Avant Rowe, the freshman there, who picked up that bobbled kick earlier.
Yeah, that's just one of those execution errors. A good throw. Looked like he had Siebens below him for a block and maybe free him up on the sideline. Even still, it's 2nd and 10. The clock does stop, which you're happy with, but you'd love to have a completion there.
2nd down. St. Francis blitzes, and this one to the opposite side, caught by Vickers at about the 35 for a pickup of 5.
Now this turns into a really big play here. Go to your playbook, find something that you feel the most comfortable with, and maybe it's something over the middle. Stuff to the outside hasn't gone extremely well for Judson's offense yet.
Christian Miller gives to Mackey, and Mackey goes nowhere. Taken down for a loss. The ball comes out, and it is picked up by St. Francis. Question was Mackey down? If not, it's going to be a fumble recovery by St. Francis's
looked like
Logan Johnson.
Yeah, well, and I don't know how that play didn't get whistled dead before the ball came out. He was losing ground in a hurry. Typically, you see a pretty quick whistle there. But again, execution errors, right? That's a big error there to let go of the ball. But again, you're looking for a whistle there, right? You're thinking that play ends a lot quicker than it did. I also must say that I know that this is the guy that you've loved on offense with Brandon Mackey, and he's been doing a great job the past month for you on the ground. 3rd down and a long 5. That was a play call I personally did not love.
Haley on 1st down takes it from about the 24 to about the 22 for a pickup of a couple yards. After that great start, the pick 6 from Maitrez Rawls, it has been all St. Francis. They have scored 14 unanswered and lead 14-8.
And the defense at this point has got to be gassed going into halftime, right? They've had very short breaks on the sideline after covering a lot of offensive possessions for St. Francis that take up a lot of time. And it's the run game, right? This is where bruising happens.
Tumley to pass, 2nd down, dumps it off to his check down. His check down, Haley weaves his way past the 1st down marker, and a good job there by Tumley just getting that off.
Yeah, just a little flip out, nice check down. Can't ask for much more on a play like that. Scanning your deep options and bring your eyes back down since they're all covered, and dump it off and pick up a 1st down in the process, right? That's a perfect play.
New set of downs for St. Francis, who are on the cusp of scoring their 3rd touchdown of the half. We're down to the 2-minute mark. Tumley, play action, pump fakes, reverses field. Jimerson brings him down from behind. Nice job by Clifton Jimerson with one hand to bring down the elusive Sam Tumulty.
And Tumulty knows what he missed there, right? Jimerson with a great tackle, but had he missed, Tumulty's on the sideline and has the ability to shake and move and get people to miss, and so that's a huge tackle there by Clifton Jimerson, and we've called his name a lot today.
Clock is stopped at a minute 43, 2nd down and 12. Split backfield. Tumulty keeps, fights off one, now another. Trying to stretch it to the end zone, he does. Tumulty uses his legs, and now it is Judson down 20-6.
And an eagle down in the middle of the field, too, as Josh Mason is calling on medics.
Sam Tumulty fought off multiple guys en route to the end zone. And after trailing 8-0, St. Francis has put up 20 straight points.
I think that's E.J. Glover that's being helped off the field by medical staff and Dan Paplazik. Hope he's fine. But, you know, that's an interesting play to see so many missed tackles on Tumulty, who's 5'10", 185. You know, you hope that that's somebody that isn't too slippery, but we see it happen, I guess, in the NFL a lot with Kyler Murray, right? That's a guy who's hard to bring down and super fast, breaks some tackles. That was just a great run by Tumulty, no doubt about it.
It sure was. The PAT, here it is from Brian Mayday, and it is good again. He's a perfect 3 for 3, and it's now a 21-8 lead for the St. Francis Fighting Saints. We'll take a timeout. When we return, we'll be ready to resume first half action. Brian Mayday ready to kick off, but the wind is picking up here on a chilly Saturday afternoon from Streamwood High School. Currently right now 50 degrees, and the wind, like I said, only picking up. And what else, you ask, picking up? Well, that's the St. Francis Fighting Saints. They have scored 21 unanswered to lead 21-8 with just over 90 seconds to go here in the half.
And they've completely stifled Judson's offense as well.
Avant bobbles it, picks it up, and goes nowhere on the play. Gets to about the 15, and this St. Francis Fighting Saints, after a slow start, really picking it up here at the end of the first half.
Well, they have, and it's been a great push by their defensive front, Ryan King. Michael Johnson, we've called his name a ton already. We're also looking at the outside linebackers, right? Logan Johnson with a fumble recovery on the last drive, and this is really what it's been. It's been short fields for St. Francis. They haven't had to work real hard to get it into the end zone because, well, Judson's just giving them the opportunities right now. They got to come out. This is a minute and 30 seconds for you to run a nice 2-minute drill, try to get in scoring position, possibly find yourself 3 points and make it a 10-point game.
What do you got to do if you're head coach Dan Paplazik? How do you get this team back on track after the early 8-0 lead?
Well, it's interesting. I think that he's doing the best he can by going back to Christian Miller. I don't know that they ever got an opportunity to run the type of plays they wanted to run with Isaiah Carrillo, but I think with Miller, you just have to focus on now getting back to the down-the-field offense that you're used to.
Christian Miller throws a bullet to Avante Vickers on first down, and Vickers out of bounds does the astute thing there to stop the clock.
Right, well, and do stuff like that, right? Get the ball to your playmakers, and there's no bigger playmaker on this offense than that man right there, Avante Vickers.
Vickers and Miller hook up for 12, and they're all the way out to the Judson 34.
And that play only took 4 seconds off the clock to pick up 11 or 12 yards right there.
Second down, Miller with time, chucks it deep, middle of the field, looking for Siebens, nearly intercepted. With him step for step was Jalen Cooper. And nice coverage there.
I can't say that I would advise that throw. I 100% know what he was going for, and I don't think he got that throw as far to the sideline as he would have liked, but that's a really tough pass to complete towards the seam and on the hash with Jalen Cooper playing back on defense. That ball would have been better had it been placed closer to the sideline. It would have given Siebens a nice opportunity to run with it.
Second down and 10 at the Judson 33. Miller with time. Far sideline, too high for Jordan West. He's got a great feel for the pocket, knows when to get rid of it, just couldn't put it on him there.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a great route there by Jordan West, too, right? Found himself in a lot of open coverage above Angel Mata, below Jalen Cooper, and had a nice opportunity to bring in a long pass that would have picked up a new set of downs, just overthrown just a bit by Miller. but you're already seeing what having Christian in the game does for you, right? It gives you an opportunity to throw the ball further down the field because he does have a great feel and a high snap.
High snap picked up by Brandon Mackey. But now if you're St. Francis, you might consider using a timeout and forcing them to punt the ball with a minute to work with.
And they just did that. Yeah, they are going to force him to punt. And you're hoping here that you get a solid punt off. Obviously, you don't have your first two punters in Tomas Colino. And we've also, we know that Trey Sayers is out as well. And so we're on to a quarterback punting at this point. Had a good one earlier, but the second one was poorly executed, and so you have to find that execution here to make sure that an additional 7 points don't go on the board right before halftime. That, if it would happen, would be 4 touchdowns in one quarter.
Yeah, third down continues to be a problem for the Judson Eagles, who led early 8-0, but St. Francis has more than just climbed their way back into this one. They have scored 21 unanswered to lead 21-8. The Eagles now 0 for 6 on third down. Good punt by Dunbar. Tumley hauls in and around the 40. He's got a lot of room. Reverses it back. And still on his feet, gets out past midfield. He made something out of nothing. And with 55 seconds, and again, the clock will stop following a first down. There's a lot of time here for this St. Francis offense to get into field goal range.
And the only reason he was able to make something out of anything on that punt return was because of a great block by Michael Whitney at the point of the turnaround there, and he started to go back towards the far sideline. So great block there by Whitney, and now reasonable field position here for St. Francis.
At midfield. 55.3 ticks. You got to think the Saints are going to look to pass. Let's see if Judson brings pressure. They do. 5-man rush. Tumulty steps up, still on his feet, has the first down, fights off another. Still going. Past the 20, the 10. Ball comes out and out of bounds. Oh, Tumulty got lucky there, was stripped from behind. I think it was Clifton Jimerson. Regardless, a 40-yard plus run, and they are on the cusp of scoring another touchdown.
And you're so close to getting a sack and coming up with a big play during this drive, and instead, Tumulty escapes the pocket and goes for a big gain. Ryan Ote almost recovered that fumble on the far side. I think it hit him in the arm, but it's so close over there on the sideline. And I think the ball probably also surprised him to some extent, too.
Clock is running. I don't know if Tumulty knows that. Now he does. Takes the snap, rolls left, and throws it away. That will stop the clock with 18.7 seconds here in the first half. Good job getting pressure there.
Yeah, well, nobody was making a fit about the clock, right? So it must have been something that maybe we didn't catch. But still, great job getting pressure. And if you can force him to throw across his body like that, that's usually going to pay dividends. We did see him make a touchdown throw like that earlier in the game with a completion to Hartsfield, but still good pressure there, and that's exactly what you need to do to come up with a stop here. Now 18 seconds left.
Tumulty has called his own number quite a bit already today. Over 100 yards following that 40-yard scamper earlier on this drive. Spins, throws, and dropped. Couldn't hook up with DeJuan Gavin in the flat. Wouldn't have mattered. Did not have enough to get into the end zone or pick up a first down.
But that misdirection right there was certainly useful. I think that DeJuan Gavin, we don't know anything about him as a playmaker, but he certainly could have made something happen there. We've seen this defense miss a lot of tackles here coming down the stretch of the second quarter just from, I would assume, fatigue. So a break there for Judson's defense.
14.2 ticks, 3rd and goal from the 10. Tumulty feels the pressure, rolls right. Game clock down to 10. Tries to throw it across his body, and it's incomplete. Tipped by Jimerson. And now do you go for the field goal, or do you go for it on 4th down?
It looks like they're sending in the field goal unit, and so we'll see the first of Brian Mayday as a field goal kicker. But that was great defense there. You almost got a sack. Two guys collide at the same spot. And then Jimerson, great job getting a hand in there to knock that one down.
Mayday is 2 for 2 on the year on field goal attempts. He has a long of 42. Flag, I think we got an early jump. It's good. Ryan Ote, I think, got there a little early. I assume this will be declined. And if it holds, it'll be a 24-8 lead for St. Francis.
And it was offside on Judson.
Yeah, Ryan Ote got there just a tad too soon.
So we entered this quarter 8-0, I think. I think that was the score coming into this quarter, and now it's 24-8. My, how the turntables turn. And it just kind of shows, when a team gets going, when a team finds their stride, especially a good one, I mean, they can really start to steamroll. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing from St. Francis right now is, well, they're firing on all cylinders.
And you would be correct, Ryan. 24 unanswered. All have come here in the second quarter. The most recent, the field goal off the right leg of Brian Mayday from 25 yards out. And it's made it a 24-8 game.
I got a steel trap for a memory.
Yes, you do. Good thing, though, is that Judson will get the ball to begin the second half, and it's only a 2-score game.
Yeah, you can close that gap quickly. You just have to come out with a different game plan. I think a halftime break is exactly what Judson will need to kind of flip the scripts a little bit. I think that they're going to come back out with Christian Miller in the second half. I would almost advise them to come back out with Christian Miller in the second half because I think that even on the one drive, we saw him have a lot of success, though it ended with a pretty quick turnover in terms of yardage not being gained.
Let's see if we just get a kneel down here from Judson.
We probably should, right? We should probably see the kneel down here.
24-8 our score. Judson out to an early 8-0 lead. Got a pick 6 from Maitrez Rawls, but since then, 24 unanswered from St. Francis, and knee taken by Christian Miller, and that will take us into the second half. We'll take a short timeout. When we return, we'll recap the first half, and before you know it, we'll be ready for the start of the second half right here on the Judson Eagles YouTube streaming network. St. Francis has taken the field, and we are about 7 minutes away from the start of the second half. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. And Ryan, it was all Judson early on, the pick six from 62 yards out from Maitrez Rawls. But since then, 24 unanswered, all in the second quarter by the St. Francis team, and they lead 24-8 with all the momentum.
Yeah, and it's the Sam Tumulty show, right? He's 7 of 14 for 67 yards through the air, and you think, okay, that doesn't hurt us that bad, right? He's also got 18 carries for 131 yards on the ground. He's gashed the Judson defense a couple of times, and that's probably been the better of the two units today for Judson is their defense. They've played, I think, a pretty good game overall. They just have been on the field so much. The offense for Judson must come out this half and put some kind of productive offensive drive together. This is a good Saints defense. It's led by a lot of upperclassmen. They've got 5 juniors, 2 seniors. Those seniors are their cornerbacks, right? So it's hard to throw the ball against them. But it's also been tough to run the ball against them. Brandon Mackey, who's had a phenomenal year thus far, top 2 rusher in the NAIA, has just 9 carries for 16 yards so far. They found a way to bottle him up, and really Judson's got nothing going on offense so far. They've got to come together and find something here in the second half. I think it starts with knowing who your quarterback is going to be going into this next 30 minutes of football. We think it's probably Christian Miller. We'll see what happens.
And as good as that St. Francis offense was in the second quarter, the defense for St. Francis has been outstanding. They held Judson to just 3 first downs. 0 for 6 were the Eagles on third down, and only 16 yards from Brandon Mackey, who had came into this game with over 200 yards in 3 straight games. What has been the difference for this St. Francis Fighting Saints defense so far?
Man, I think it's just been really great execution by the front 3. We've called Michael Johnson's name a ton today, but we've seen Ryan King flash a bunch. We've seen Logan Johnson make an impact. I mean, the defense is just operating as a really cohesive unit. I think part of the reason why they're able to be so effective in the run game is because Judson hasn't been able to spread it out, especially deep here early on. And so everybody's in the box, and it's much harder to run when the defense isn't spread out. So I think to start this second half, you really have to be committed to throwing the ball down the field, and I think if you have success there, we're going to see more success by Brandon Mackey.
We did see Ovante Vickers get a little bit more involved, especially towards the end of that first half. Vickers came into this game as the team's leader in receptions and receiving yards. He can do a lot after the catch. Specifically, what do you expect to see from Vickers in the second half with this offense?
Well, we said it in the first half. He's your best playmaker, and so I expect to see him get the ball in his hands by any means necessary to try to help this offense get down the field. Whether it's in a screen situation, whether it's in comebacks, whether it's in the deep posts or 9 routes that we've seen a lot from him, right? Like you have to come out and just get that ball in his hands. He will make the plays for you. That's what I would like to see from Ovante Vickers.
Opening drive is set to start in about 3 minutes. How important is it going to be for Judson? Not necessarily to get points, but just pick up some first downs and move the ball.
Oh, it's paramount, right? Again, I talked so much when Isaiah Carrillo was in at quarterback that they needed to find some confidence-building plays for him, and they never were really able to do that. And so I think that this first drive is going to be paramount for Judson's offense to just come out and feel comfortable playing football today. I don't feel like they've run a play yet where they're like, okay, yes, this is a good play. We feel comfortable running this, and they've had good protection and all that. It's just this first drive is going to tell you a lot about how at least the third quarter is going to go for Judson.
We'll take one more brief timeout. We got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to the start of the second half. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. Looking forward to bringing it to you next here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. Both teams are set to take the field as we get ready to bring you the second half. Jared Schlensky joined by Ryan Sartori on this chilly Saturday afternoon from Streamwood High School on the campus of Streamwood High, home of the Sabres. It is also the home of the Judson Eagles football team, just in their second season as a program here in the NAIA. And after an early 8-0 lead, the St. Francis Fighting Saints, who have won 3 straight, ran away with 24 unanswered to end the second quarter, but still a whole half to play, and let's see what this Judson team is made of here in the second half.
Yeah, and it's time for a streak of their own, right? Let's go on some unanswered point streaks here if you're Judson. I think that they're capable of it. I like Christian Miller being back in under center. I think that you mentioned well in the first half that he feels a little bit more comfortable in the pocket and has good awareness there, knows when to get rid of the ball. And I think he's got a real big arm too. And that's not to speak ill on the name of Isaiah Carrillo. I just think that today's game plan and the way that they need to climb back into this game, well, I think that you're better suited with Christian Miller at quarterback here for the second half.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what we get, or who we get, rather, at quarterback to begin the third quarter. Kicking off is Brian Mayday, and back to return for the Judson Eagles are Avant Rowe and Jordan West. Mayday with an onside kick. Did it get touched? Did he pick it up too early? Neither. This is going to be St. Francis football.
I think that maybe you did get an early touch by number 51, Caden Smith. Panic kind of sets in on one of those situations, right? Like, oh no, we weren't expecting this. The onside kick comes. I think that it was just a little bit of panic that set in right there. I think he maybe did touch it a little early, but still it's St. Francis ball, and this is not the way you want it the second half to start.
No, and a really nice kick. There's a lot of different ways people do the onside. Sometimes you do the pooch to the left, to the right. Instead, just a little tapper up the middle. Needed to go 10 yards. He got it to go 11, and he picked it up himself. And it'll be St. Francis going to work offensively from their own 46.
Just kind of goes to show you that nothing is certain in football.
Tumulty gives to his back. Haley down the far sideline has the first down before being wrapped out of bounds. And already into Judson territory, just one play in on offense.
Yeah, and that's a really good spot to kind of punch the defense in the mouth a little bit, so to speak, right? Because they weren't expecting to be on the field so early, and now very quickly they're thrust into the ball game. So that's a good spot to try to get a big chunk to start your drive.
Tumulty was a busy guy calling his own number in the first half. If he wasn't doing it on the ground, he was doing it with his arm. You look at the numbers, 18 carries, 131 yards, including a rushing touchdown, and then 2 passing touchdowns on 7 pass completions. Here again, Haley, a lot of room, scampers past Dunbar. One man to beat, can't beat him. Taken down inside the 5. And what a good start here on offense for this St. Francis Fighting Saints team.
Yeah, Dunbar gets in there for the tackle on the chase down, but I mean, if you're the Saints, this is the start you wanted, right? You go into that locker room and you know pretty quickly, okay, we're going for the onside kick, and when we do that, we're going to do this play, then that play. Like, this is the script they probably had written out, had everything gone well, and things are going perfectly so far for St. Francis.
Yeah, just 2 plays on offense, and they're already at the Judson 5. Tumulty to Haley, and he can't get past Clinton Jimerson this time. Jimerson had himself a heck of a first half, and there with another tackle for loss.
Yeah, now it's just time to dig your heels in and hope that you can limit this to a field goal. It is right now still a 2-score game. You can climb your way back into that pretty quickly, but you need a big stop here and to hold it to about 3 points.
A third tackle for a loss on the day for Clifton Jimerson. 24-8 our score. We're not even 2 minutes into the third quarter. St. Francis trying to take advantage of a recovered onside kick. Tumulty dives for the pylon. Did he get in? Did he break the goal line? No, he's short. They're going to rule him down inside the 1, and it's going to bring up third down.
And this is likely a 4-down situation for St. Francis in the red zone like this. My guess would be that they're going for the next 2 plays.
They have scored 24 unanswered, and we've seen it all day, less than a yard. They're going to operate from the gun. Tumulty keeps, jumps. Is he in? No signal yet. I think he's going to be short.
Yeah, the judge on the far side marking him maybe half a yard short, so it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, I think you got to go for this. The only thing is, do you maybe consider getting under center and just running a quarterback sneak? What do you do here?
Well, the traditional play would be that quarterback sneak, right? And it's a kind of a cheat code in football. You need half a yard. You're likely going to get half a yard with the quarterback sneak. But as they line up in the shotgun here, it looks like they're going to try to do maybe an off tackle or something.
Huge play here for the Judson defense. Tumulty rolls right. Didn't have it at first. Did he get it there? He did. They made him cut it inside, and Josh Mason just couldn't keep him from breaking the plane.
Just got it in, I would assume, by a hair.
Tumulty, with his second rushing touchdown, has made this a 30-8 ball game.
That's his 9th rushing touchdown of the season.
And now Madej to kick the PAT as the onside kick gamble for head coach Joe Curry pays off dividends. It's up and through, and it's 31 unanswered. 12 minutes remain here in the third quarter. All St. Francis over the Eagles, 31-8, our score with 12 minutes to play.
Silverstrand was lining up as a warming up as a center over here.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they're going to try to kick him inside further, or if he was just getting snaps for the sake of getting snaps. But Caleb Davis had a rough first half.
Brian Mayday recovers his own onside kick, and then 5 plays later, make it 6 plays later, finds the end zone on a 1-yard rushing touchdown from Sam Tumulty, and it is now 31-8. Return to the far sideline, gets to about the 30 for Judson, and now they will get to go to work officially on offense for the first time here in the second half.
Yeah, and one thing we were talking about in the break, I saw during that first drive by St. Francis that on our sideline here for Judson, Tyler Silverstrand was getting some snaps in, and I'm curious if that's going to be who they put at center to start here, or if that was maybe just an illusion. But no, yeah, Silverstrand lining up on the ball. He's going to be the center here in the second half with Christian Miller back out there under center.
And Brandon Mackey, who was held to 16 yards. Miller to pass on first down, has all sorts of time. Chucks it deep for Vickers. Couldn't come back and catch it. Just underthrew him a little bit, and he couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, and I think it was probably designed for Miller to be looking to the far sideline and then come back this way. It can kind of lull a cornerback to sleep when that happens. Vickers made a nice double move. The ball just kind of underthrown as Miller was on the run.
Tough break there. They had Vickers wide open. Instead, it falls incomplete and is going to bring up second down and 10. 31-8 our score. Judson needs to score, and they need to score fast. Miller gives to Mackey. Little hole early on. Turns the corner. Has the first down. Down towards the 40, and he picks up about 15 on first down.
We found Brandon Mackey. There he is for about 15. Big run right there, breaking tackles, keeping defenders at a distance as he scampers out of bounds. Big gain right there. And that's the formula right there. Ovante Vickers and Brandon Mackey. As long as those two have the football, you are in good hands.
Empty backfield. No, excuse me, Mackey on his left. Mackey takes the toss, and Mackey is hit for a loss. It's been a tough day for him, especially trying to make additional men miss after making the first one miss, but there was Michael Johnson, who's had himself a busy afternoon.
I think pretty much everybody on that side of the field was ready and waiting for Mackey on that play. And I think that's the second or third time we've seen that design toss to the left, off tackle type situation. And so now a second and long, likely throwing the ball here. Look at the group down here at the bottom of your screen.
4 bunched up all together. And a flag comes in as they went to the other side of the field. Let's see who this is on. Judson is pointing as if it's on the defense of St. Francis. This is a big sequence here.
False start on the offense.
False start against Judson.
Body language tells me it might have been Jordan West, who was the front man of that diamond of wide receivers that we had here at the bottom of the screen. We lost the audio from the ref. I'm just making guesses here. I do know it was a false start, though. I can read that.
Christian Miller did not start this game, but he has replaced Isaiah Carrillo, and, well, he's been busy. Gives to Mackey. Mackey fights off a couple of arm tackles, still going, and gets right around the original line of scrimmage. It was Cameron Holman along with Carson Hansen bringing him down.
Yeah, and, I really like that play call. Second and really long. You try to get what you can, knowing that you're probably going to have to throw it on third down anyway. So great pickup there by Mackey, and Miller really sold the run there too.
Third down, Miller with time, pump fakes, now throws as he gets hit. Wide open, Jordan West intercepted. Undercut by Jalen Cooper. He's got a couple of pass breakups and now a pick as Miller took a shot there on third down.
Yeah, and that was the correct throw. I just think that Christian Miller left a little bit too much air under it, which allowed Jalen Cooper to come over from the other hash mark and make that interception. But it was exactly where it needed to be, just the wrong type of pass.
Yeah, this St. Francis defense has come to play. They've got a forced fumble and now 3 interceptions on the day.
Almost 4. Remember, we had the one called back. Back to work for the defense.
St. Francis on offense from their own 30. Tumulty gives and very little room for Daniel McLaurin on first down. Yeah, 3 interceptions now today for this St. Francis defense. That one by Cooper and Mata with another. Same thing with Scott Tumulty. Second down. Low snap, Tumulty with time. Takes a shot over the middle, wide open. Has his man in Hartsfield. And Hartsfield still going till about the 15 on the big pickup between the QB and receiver.
Yeah, Caleb Davis was the safety on that play that got beat down the seam by Hartsfield, was looking the other way, and it's when he realized that he was looking in the wrong area, that the ball was already in the air and on its way into the hands of Jason Hartsfield. A big chunk right there.
Huge chunk. And a really nice throw by Tumulty. Second down. A pickup of officially 51. Tumulty pulls it out and gets very little. Good job on the outside there by Bryce Heary, and it's going to bring up third down.
Yeah, I think the guy to kind of keep the edge right there and allow Heary to make that play was Maitrez Rawls. I mean, I think we've said his name an abundance of times today. Maitrez Rawls having a great day amongst this Judson defense.
I said it brought up third down. It's only second down. Let's see if the Saints go back to the air. They've had some success here with the passing game later on. Nope, Tumulty again. Can't get past Bryce Heary. Back-to-back tackles for the starting defensive end who did not start to begin the season.
This is going to be a nice piece of the defense moving forward for years to come. Bryce Heary, a freshman, already has 3 sacks on the year coming into today, 20 total tackles as well. That's just coming into today's game, and we've called his name a ton. So this guy is a big-time player on the line for Judson.
Third down and about 8. We're in the third quarter, 31-8 our score.
This, I would assume, is not a 4-down situation. They might go for 3 if you get a stop here.
Tumulty takes the snap to the middle of the field, throws a perfect throw to his man in Karan. Tumulty with the touchdown pass now makes it 37-8.
And that was just a beautiful ball, a great post route run, but who I believe to be Alessio Battaglia on that play, 84, looked like he made the catch. But just a well-executed route. Was wide open at the top. Whoever was playing that high man in the middle of the field, probably playing a yard or two too far down, but that's just a great play call, great play design to get him out of position and open up Battaglia for that wide open catch.
PAT is up and through. It's 38 unanswered for St. Francis, and it was Alessio Battaglia on the score. We'll take another timeout. You're listening to Judson Football here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. .7:23 to go here in the third quarter. St. Francis has scored 14 unanswered, and here's a touchback as the Judson Eagles look to get back on track on offense. Their only score today, well, it gave them an early 8-0 lead, the pick six from Maitrez Rawls, but the offense has yet to score so far in this one.
But they've ripped off some bigger chunks here in the past. I'd say that first drive before the half and this first drive, they were ripping off some bigger chunks, and they're showing a willingness to throw the ball down the field, which I think is important. I mean, it's really the only way they're going to claw their way back into this game, so they have to keep doing it. Even if last drive did end in a turnover and the interception over the middle of the field, you still have to keep throwing the ball.
Let's see what they elect to do. Give to Mackey, and Mackey lunges forward for a couple on first down. Brandon Mackey came in averaging over 200-plus total yards in his last 3 games, but only 16 yards on the ground at the half. They've made it an emphasis to get him the ball here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and he's going to rip off big plays. That's just how the run game works. You're going to get a gain of 1 or 2, and then out of nowhere, you're going to gain a 15.
Avante Vickers and Christian Miller not on the same page there. That one way behind him, and it's going to bring up third down.
I think it was that Miller maybe pulled the trigger a little too soon. Vickers saw something out of the cornerback and thought that he could run the double move up the sideline. He did beat him and did have the right move put on. If Miller holds that for just a tick longer, he maybe shoots Vickers down the sideline.
But all St. Francis, even after the 8-0 lead, they have scored 38 unanswered. Miller on third down. Far sideline, intercepted. This one picked off by Terrence Nicholson. And now 4 INTs on the day for this St. Francis defense.
And again, the right place for the ball, just the wrong type of throw. That bullet pass would have worked if he hit Siebens on the break, on the outbreak, but where that route was when he threw it, he needed more loft on the ball. And interception results.
Now you got to start to ask yourself how much longer the number ones will stay in for St. Francis. I would assume maybe the end of the quarter, but I'm not sure if it'll be longer than that.
I think the outcome of this drive could tell us a lot about how long they're going to stay in.
We could be right.
One thing you're not seeing is any give from Judson's defense.
No.
They are still 100% in this game, locked in, and trying to make stops for this offense.
Tumulty, far sideline, wide open man. That's DeJuan Gavin, and Gavin taken down by DeMarcus Farmer inside the 10, a pickup of over 30.
Yeah, and the cornerback on that play, I think was Otay. I think he shot a little deep on his zone and got a little mixed up right there, just trying to get in coverage for Gavin.
This has not been a powerhouse offense, but so far today, especially since the second quarter, they have moved the ball with ease. Tumulty gives up the middle. Pyle still moving, but not a lot there on first down.
Another late whistle there by the officiating crew. You think you run into a pile like that, you see the pile kind of, come to a slight halt. You think you hear a whistle. We saw that earlier on a fumble that happened with Brandon Mackey. The play was headed back in a hurry, and they never blew the whistle and ended up allowing a fumble to stand.
Second down, Tumulty rolls right and lunges forward. Nothing there in the passing game, but a good job of at least making something out of nothing.
Yeah, and that's why Sam Tumulty is good, right? Like, nothing was there, so what does he do? He steps up. He's extremely dangerous and fast with his legs. It picks up enough to keep you on schedule here, third down and about 2 yards, third down and goal.
Just over 5 minutes to go here in the third. The third offensive series already for St. Francis, and the first two have resulted in touchdowns. Will it be a third? Tumulty, fade ball, far sideline, caught.
Mercy.
Wow, a beautiful grab with one hand by Liam Eldridge. Back pylon. At least we thought it was. They rule him out of bounds? It looks like they did.
So,
wow.
But Liam Eldridge still made a tremendous one-handed grab going out of bounds right there. That was one of the best plays you'll see at this level of college football.
Yeah, I thought he was in. Instead, it'll be fourth down. And about 5 to go.
I can't believe they're going for it. They're going for the dagger right here.
Yeah, they are. And a timeout taken by St. Francis. With 4:49 to go here in the third, we'll keep it here. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. And you talk about St. Francis not taking their foot off the gas. They go for an onside kick to open the half. And since then, 14 unanswered in the half and 30 unanswered in the game.
Yeah, and they've just been really driving at will. And again, I think that it's just the fact that Judson's defense has been on the field so much today. It's really hard to regain yourself, regain any sort of stamina as the course of the game plays out. They've just been on the field so much. Judson's offense not able to pick up really anything in terms of first downs to keep themselves on the field. Yeah, so far just 1 first down here in the second half, 4 for the entire game. The third down efficiency, Judson's still yet to convert a third down. They're 0 for 8 today and 0 for 1 on fourth down. So, yes, 14 straight points here in the second half, but I don't know that it is entirely on Judson's defense, as they have been asked to do a very big job today.
Joe Curry's going to keep the offense on the field. Fourth down, Judson trying to get into it. The Fighting Saints on the Eagles 5. Pressure comes. Outside run and into the end zone is Daniel McLaurin. He took the direct snap and was able to reach for the near side pylon on the right side. And it is now 44-8.
You see that pylon laying down on the ground over there. That kind of lets you know that he got inside of it. 44-8. This game likely out of reach now. At this point, you are hoping for some really concrete, productive drives from your offense just to try to get something going into next week.
Yeah, that's a gutsy play call on 4th and goal from the 5. PAT is through, and it's now 45-8 Fighting Saints. They have scored 45 unanswered. We'll take another timeout here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network.
I think it is, but I keep reading comments that say audio only or something like that. I just want to make sure. I have it up here. I just wonder if other people are having issues with it.
In the beginning, there was audio issues, but
Okay. I was just making sure.
Back live here from Streamwood High. Also the home field for the Judson Eagles. The Eagles out to an early 8-0 lead, but it's been all St. Francis since. 45 unanswered. Avant bobbles the kickoff, picks it up around the 15, and is tackled by Terrence Nicholson as the Judson Eagles with a long field ahead of them again here in the second half. The Fighting Saints, they didn't score at all in the first quarter, but that has not deterred them one bit. They really have got it going, especially on defense. 4 turnovers forced by this Fighting Saints defense.
Yeah, and we mentioned it as well a couple minutes ago. Only 4 first downs allowed. They've not allowed a conversion on 3rd down or 4th down. And in terms of total yards, Judson is yet to eclipse the 100-yard mark. They have played a really great game on the defensive side of the ball, have the St. Francis Fighting Saints.
Brandon Mackey in there with Christian Miller. Miller, the quarterback, pump fakes, goes deep, finds Vickers, who is drilled. A tough, physical catch by Vickers, and he paid the price. A good hit laid on him by Nick Mabutas.
Yeah, but he pops right back up. He's got some toughness in him. He knew he was going to take a lick right there, but he still was able to hang on to that ball. Great catch there by the All-American.
Pickup of 20. Give to Mackey, and Mackey on first down gets about 5. But yes, or actually 19 technically on that play to Vickers. But yes, a nice run there on first down as a late flag comes in, and now some pushing and shoving between the Saints and the Eagles.
Looks like big old Derek DeVries is in there trying to fight for his guy, Brandon Mackey. I think a little bit of extra contact after the whistle. That might be what the flag is. Maybe a little bit of unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct. Likely on the Saints would be my guess, as there is kind of a scrum in that pile.
Have to wait and see. It was a late flag too. Well,
2
after
flags
the
down
play.
and a hat.
Yeah, might have been well after the play to be specific.
If you're Judson, you're praying that this doesn't go against you. Maybe something offsetting. You see usually 2 flags. That can be typically on both teams as the conversation wages on here with the referees. We'll say one thing that you can hang your hat on if you're Judson offensively is that today you've only allowed 1 sack of your quarterback. Last week they allowed 6 and 15 for the entire season, right? That 6 mark was the most that they've had in 1 week. So only 1 sack this week against a pretty ferocious front 3, and I think if you're Judson's O-line, you can hang your hat on that.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against both teams. It'll just be whatever happened. It doesn't negate the play, so a pickup of 3 is going to bring up 2nd down and 7. We're in the 3rd quarter. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. Been all Fighting Saints. 45 unanswered.
But it's been all fun up here in the booth, right, Jared?
Oh, yes, always. With time, Miller, deep ball, middle of the field, caught by Jordan West, still on his feet, and tumbles forward inside the 20. Christian Miller to Jordan West.
And
First
Rumble,
time they've hooked up today.
And Rumble, young man Rumble. Jordan West gets the catch, contact immediately, and then breaks some more tackles for a gigantic gain. Probably the biggest gain of the day for this Eagles offense.
Well over 30 yards on that one. They give him exactly 49 to the 18. Quickly to the line go the Eagles. Mackey up the gut. Now tries to bounce it outside. He does. Is he in? No, to the 1. A pickup of 17. Brandon Mackey with 3:24 has Judson on the cusp of getting their first offensive score today.
But something tells me Mackey's about to get touchdown number 7 here in just a few moments. This is a guy they're going to turn and hand to and let him just go to work and try to get through the teeth of this defense, whether it be off tackle or up the middle. You see a run like that, break a couple tackles, looks heroic, and he doesn't get into the end zone, marked a yard shy. You want that guy to get the touchdown. Wildcat.
Mackey. Quarterback sneak is in. Brandon Mackey has Judson on the board, their first offensive score. And it's 45-14 as the crowd starts to come to life.
And finally an answer. Finally an answer. What did it take? A big completion down the middle to Jordan West for 49 yards. They finally connect on something down the field in the passing game. And then Brandon Mackey does what Brandon Mackey does by picking up a huge chunk and then getting the rushing touchdown.
And it looks like the Eagles are going to keep the offense on the field and go for 2.
You absolutely have to. But what play you run here is kind of in question because you've already burned through play number 1 in your 2-point conversion play chart, right? So how many of these plays do you have written up?
Miller rolls right and caught. Really nice catch, a little bit behind Keontae Fox, and he still hauls it in on the 2-point try.
Great body control, kind of twisting and contorting, and he's able to get a foot down while maintaining possession. That was a great play and great patience by the quarterback, Christian Miller, to wait for that to open up.
All set up on the 49-yard catch and run from Jordan West on the deep ball from Christian Miller. We'll take another timeout here on the Judson Eagles streaming network. 3:02 to go here in the third quarter. Judson has its first score. David Dunbar to kick off following the 1-yard rushing touchdown from Brandon Mackey. 45-16. The Saints' run of 45 unanswered is halted. Caught around the 30. Big hole down the far sideline, and out of bounds is James Williams on the return as more pushing and shoving continues.
I'm surprised we don't have a flag right there. It looked like as James Williams was leaving the sideline, he kind of basketball chest passed the ball into the back of somebody's head. I don't think a referee caught it, but that did happen. It occurred. I saw it with my own eyes. So now with points on the board, you need to stop. You need to stop if you're Judson's defense. You finally got some input from your offense, and now you got to go back to work for them, right?
The Saints offense, 3 possessions in the second half, 3 touchdowns, and they're going to keep the starters in. We thought maybe till about the start of the fourth. Tumulty at the Judson 49, spins and goes nowhere. He tried to do it again, and he could not get past Clifton Jimerson, who has had himself one heck of a day.
That is a big-time play by Clifton Jimerson to not get lost in the shakes and the rolls of Sam Tumulty, but to just go right after him. Look at his chest and attack that point, and that's what he did. Went right through him, got the sack, and a huge loss on first down to make it 2nd and 22-ish.
Loss of over 10 on the play. Jimerson with his 4th tackle for loss today. Tumulty takes the snap with time. Tries to spin out, now throws it away. Did he get out of the pocket, or is that going to be grounding?
It looks like they're going to say he got out of the back of the pocket before he hurled it away, but
I don't
very
know.
close. They're going to talk about it.
I don't think he got out of the pocket. And they do say he was out of the pocket. 50-50 call goes St. Francis's way, and that would have been big. That would have been another loss of 10.
Yeah, I think it was one of those situations, kind of like, you can always have a forward pass if you have one toe behind the line of scrimmage. It might have been one of those situations where he was just out of the back of the pocket, very close right there. Could have been disaster for St. Francis.
3rd down and forever. Screen pass. Caught. Still rumbling forward, but well short of the marker is Daniel McLaurin. And we will get to see the punting unit for the first time today here by the the first time in the second half by the St. Francis Fighting Saints.
And how about the push from the defensive line right there for Judson? Every single play of that drive, there was at least 1 or 2 Eagles in the backfield looking to make a play on the quarterback.
Ryan Ote back to punt around his own 10. I'd be surprised if we get a fake here.
I'd be shocked.
High punt. Fair catch called for and hauled in right around the 10.
Great punt.
And with 1:15, the Eagles riding some momentum. Let's see if they can get another score on the board.
Back to work, right? Get your hard hats on. Let's go. Be blue collar. Lace your boots up and let's go grind out a big drive right now. You score a touchdown. If you get the 2, it's 24-45 with a full quarter to play and a defense that looks like maybe it found a second wind. We'll see if they can find a way to claw back into this game. Certainly it would be an incredible comeback, but this is where those things start, is right here.
Judson Eagles offense has been inconsistent and really been plagued by the turnover. A fumble and 3 interceptions. But they did get a nice long touchdown drive on their last series. Let's see if they can do it again here. Miller, far sideline, finds Jordan West, and West gets about 5 yards on first down. Keontae Fox on first down.
That was great placement for that ball. Again, the out route is one of the hardest passes to hit because you typically have to put it in a very narrow window for it to be catchable for your receiver and your receiver alone, and he put it in that window right there.
45 seconds. This might be the final play of the quarter. Miller gives to Mackey, and Mackey does not get a whole lot. Hit by Logan Johnson, and with just over 30 seconds, the clock is stopped due to an injured player.
That was a great play by Scott Tumulty, who didn't go one way or the other in the 2 running lanes that Mackey had. Coming downhill, ran right into the back of a linebacker and made it difficult for Mackey to decide which way he was going to cut. I think if Mackey watches that play on tape, though, he'll likely have said, I should have went the other way. I think that Tumulty's momentum was carrying him further to the right side of that play than the inside of the play.
Let's see if the Eagles try to get one more play off. 15 on the game clock. Play fake. Miller over the middle of the field. Keontae Fox, the tight end, past the 40. Flag comes in, past midfield, and into St. Francis territory. The question is it going to stand?
Man, you are just I'm watching the body language of Christian Miller here, because if it is against them, that would be an absolute backbreaker. But now I'm watching Dan Poplazik, who is yelling at his team, get back up. Sideline interference is the call. Poplazik losing his mind on his team just a moment ago. But the play will stand.
And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Judson looking for their second consecutive scoring drive. They trail 45-16. The fourth quarter is coming your way next here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network.
We have the doors closed and the windows closed, and I heard them say, "Back up from up here."
I didn't hear it. The start of quarter number 4. It's Judson trailing 45-16, just their second home game of the season. Jared Slinsky joined by Ryan Sartori and St. Francis. Well, they came in on a streak, 3 in a row. Looks like it's going to be 4 in a row, but Judson still playing till the end. They're playing hard, too.
Yeah, they want to have something to say about that possible 4-game win streak.
Screen pass was intended for Siebens and is batted down at the line of scrimmage. This Judson team, this is their second year as a program. Last season got their first win against Madonna. Played them 2 weeks ago, make that 3 weeks ago here at home, able to win. Not likely it's going to happen this week against St. Francis, but you're seeing the building blocks still slowly coming together.
Well, and this is an intelligent football team, because they made adjustments at halftime. You're seeing them kind of play out here. The offense looks considerably better here in the second half than they did in the first, as Jordan West makes a great catch.
And Jordan West, another diving catch. Christian Miller relieved starting quarterback Isaiah Carrillo. And we'll have to see who will start moving forward. Again, Miller started the season, replaced by Carrillo. Now Miller taking over for Carrillo here in the 6th game of the year. Third down, about 7 to go. Mackey definitely is not going to have the first down.
This is 100% 4-down territory, and so I understand going with the run right there.
Scott Batten able to slow down Mackey. Yeah, I think you got to go for this here. No question about it.
One guy they've been targeting a lot on the past 2 drives, Keontae Fox, who coming into today only had 4 catches on the season, has 2 today for 32 yards.
Let's see if Judson calls a timeout. No. Hand signals coming in from the sideline.
Still 8 seconds on the play clock.
Miller, good pocket. Deep ball. He's got a man. Broken up. Just couldn't put him on it quite enough. Really nice pass breakup by Angel Mata.
Yeah, Mata, that was beautiful coverage all the way through. No penalty whatsoever. Got a little hip check in there, too, as both players went to the air. I think that knocked Vickers off course just enough to make it an incomplete pass, and the 4th down try falls short.
Now, I like the decision, though, there from Miller. 4th down, obviously, you don't want to have to take a deep shot, but it was there.
Well, and it's one of those tendency breakers, right? You think like a team that's just trying to like stay on the field and pick up yardage, get those first downs, keep marching down the field. You think, okay, they're probably going to go something short here, maybe run the ball. Instead, they take a deep shot on a post route by their best player, and it just doesn't end up working out. But those are the type of plays that you need to pull off a big comeback. It just so happens right there, it didn't break Judson's way.
First down, nothing there for St. Francis's St. Golden Irby. And we're getting the second unit in now for the first time today. We thought it would probably be the 4th quarter where we would get the second string, and that's what we're getting here. Eric Maffey, the junior in at QB, had 7 pass attempts last week in that 39-17 win over Trinity International.
James Zillinger in the backfield as well.
Maffei drops back, pressure comes, over the middle, finds his check down, and it was Kaman Karan. Karan was a starter today, but he's still out there, surprisingly.
Yeah, we haven't heard his name a ton, though the pass game hasn't really been their focus today. We've heard a lot of DeJuan Gavin, obviously lots of Jason Hartsfield as well. Kaman Karan coming in with what I believe to be his second catch of the afternoon.
Eagles stack the box. 7-man blitz and nowhere to go. Maffei hit hard and sacked by Krajin, the junior, with a big hit.
Yeah, again, anchor this defense. That dude came flying off the right side for a huge stop on 3rd down. If we were in the NFL, we may have seen a roughing the passer penalty. He crushed Maffei.
And now the punting unit comes out, Brian Mayday. This started out with an 8-0 Judson lead after one. Maitrez Rawls a pick 6, but then 24 unanswered points to end the second quarter, made it 24-8. Really short punt going into the wind. And we've got a ball touched by Judson, luckily recovered by the Eagles. As things are getting chippy and a late flag comes in. Yeah, I was surprised that ball was touched.
I was too, and it was very kind of gently picked up, like he was just kind of expecting it to roll into his hands, and then a group of Saints came rushing in to knock him down. Luckily, I think the Eagles are going to come away with this football.
Yeah, let's see what the ruling is with 11:22. We talked about it. 24 unanswered points in the second quarter, made it 24-8 in favor of St. Francis. They went on to get 3 more touchdowns to take a 45-8 lead. But now you're seeing Judson starting to show some resiliency here in the fourth.
Yeah, and I just don't know that there's enough time for a comeback. Certainly I could eat crow any time and be happy with a Judson comeback, a gigantic comeback against a great team like St. Francis. I don't know that there's enough time to do it, but there is always time to lead a productive drive, to do something that in the weeks to come is going to matter in the production of this offense and in the progression of this offense. Because I think we're still waiting for an official ruling on the flag. Long conversation.
Yeah, super long conversation.
Benjamin Lagoki is the head ref, and now he's got something to say.
Penalty against Judson.
Looks like maybe 2 of them against Judson.
Yeah. I think somebody got ejected, too. David Dunbar.
And that will not bode well for an already thin Judson secondary. Without Demarius Farmer today, without Franklin Sayers today. So DeHavion Allen will step into his role on defense.
Yeah,
when Judson's defense goes back out there.
David Dunbar disqualified.
Who will punt footballs?
Yeah, that's a good question here with 11:22 remaining.
I think you still stick with the air attack here. Try to put up as many points as you can. As a football team, you never, ever just roll over and give up. You always fight to that final whistle, and I think that's what Judson will do here. And actually, as we're talking about it, the penalty was enough to give a first down to St. Francis, and so they're still on the field.
Indeed, they are. Off-tackle run goes to James Zillinger. Both these teams trending in opposite directions, especially in conference play. Barring a miracle, Judson's going to fall to 0-3. St. Francis will improve to 3-0. And they will be home next week against St. Ambrose. As for Judson, they are on the road against Roosevelt. Maffei rolls right. across his body, throws a perfect ball to Curran, and Curran inside the 5. The ball comes out. The question is, did he establish himself back in? If not, it's a touchback.
I think that has to be a touchback.
And
yeah.
it is.
Wow, what a break.
A touchback. And Curran probably should have just continued to let that ball roll. Instead, he touched it. Got all the way to the 5. And now Judson, a little spark, will get to go to work from their own 20.
Yeah, well, and again, that's Mitrez Rawls that was in coverage from the safety position. And I think he did the only thing that he could do right there. He was trying to make a play on the ball. He was beat by about a step. And Curran makes a great catch, but then going to the goal line is stripped of the ball, and when it's fumbled through the goal line like that or through the end zone, it turns into a safety. And so now a change of possession, like you said, gets Judson back on the field. And that's always a backbreaker, right? For any ball carrier, for any offense, doesn't matter the lead, that play always sucks.
Not ideal. But Judson football with 10:41 to go. They trail 45-16. Mackey tries to turn the corner, fights off a couple of tackles, and is pushed out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line. Surprised to see the first unit still in for Judson.
I'm not, because I think this is the unit that matters the most, right? You want them to have this play time, even if it may fall on quote-unquote deaf ears, right? I still think that it's important that they're getting these reps as a team, because a lot of these guys will still be together next year. I like that play call too, the misdirection, fine, but this is a very disciplined defense, and
Miller,
they stayed home.
Second down, nearly intercepted. Mabudas got a couple of hands on it. Very well, could have been another pick right there for the Fighting Saints.
Well, that's why he plays defensive back, right? Right through the hands there. Pass intended for Alex Siebens. Overthrew him by maybe 3 yards. But, again, that's why you keep the starters in this situation, in my opinion, because, again, like I said, they're going to be together next year. A lot of these guys are going to be together. This is all chemistry building right here. In-game reps that you can't get from practice. There are important reps to be had in practice, but none are as valuable as in-game reps against another defense.
Timeout taken by Judson. We'll take one with them. 10-11 to go in this one. Fighting Saints 45, Eagles 16. You're listening to the Eagles football here on the Eagles YouTube network. Third down and about 10 to go for the Eagles of Judson University. They trail 45-16 against conference foe St. Francis. St. Francis on the verge of winning their 4th consecutive ball game, and all of a sudden they're back in the conversation for making the playoffs.
Yeah, and possibly even weaseling their way back into the top 25, though that's probably more of a stretch than making the playoffs. I'm sure they're just fine with going to the playoffs and not having an additional number next to their name.
Screen set up for Siebens goes nowhere, sniffed out by Terrence Nicholson. And here comes 4th down, and the punting unit makes its way onto the field for Judson.
Yeah, and this is the reasonable thing to do. I'm interested to see who's actually going to punt.
I would assume Carrillo, who punted earlier today.
I'm seeing Christian Miller as the deep guy here.
Yes, it is. It's Christian Miller.
I think if you're St. Francis, have to be extremely alert about the possibility of a fake here.
Punt nearly blocked. Really nice spiral. Tumulty can't hang on to it, but it gets out of bounds around midfield, and that is where the St. Francis offense will go back to work.
Do you think Carrillo and Miller are both from San Antonio? Do you think they have some kind of really elaborate, like, pass, punt, kick camps down there? These guys are great punters on top of being quarterbacks.
Yeah, you never know. You could be right.
I'm not super aware of the football culture in San Antonio, but maybe, like, that's what they do.
9:18 to go. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori. Great start for Judson. Got a pick six from Montrez Rawls. He took it 62 yards to the house. However, 24 unanswered points in that second quarter made it 24-8. First down carry. Gets a couple. Well, it's going to be more than just a couple. The pile keeps going. And St. Francis, you talk about gutsy. Onside kick to begin the second half. They recover it. Score 17 unanswered to begin the third quarter. Led as much as by 45-8. And, well, they haven't looked back.
No, they haven't. I think that onside kick was like a soul-stealing type of move there at the beginning of this quarter. Or at the beginning of this half, rather. Certainly put the script.
James Williams on the carry. Maybe gets 2, and this is going to bring up third down with under 8:30 to go in this one.
Should I say flip the script to start this quarter, as I think what I was aiming for.
We thank you for tuning in on the stream. We can read the comments. We appreciate you for providing your opinion, and also hope you have enjoyed today's broadcast online via the Judson Eagles YouTube network.
It's always a treat to come out here and call some Eagles football. It truly, really is.
Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori in the fourth. Williams, third down, needed 5. He gets 6. He has a new set of downs. And this is a really well-balanced St. Francis football team.
Yeah, well, and they're well balanced in terms of strength and speed and skill, but this is a run-heavy offense. They've shown us that all day long. As we look at the attempts in the rushing game, Sam Tumulty with 25 attempts, 15 attempts for Haley. You know, they've run the ball much more than they've thrown today, as Tumulty's only thrown 20 times, so he's actually run more than he's passed. A run-heavy offense, rather, that has just continued to show that today.
Williams past the 40, close to the 35, gets about 6 on first down. I think the objective right now for St. Francis is to kill as much clock as they can.
Most definitely. And I think that it's interesting, too. Coming into today's game, the people that I talked to about St. Francis said that one of their question marks is their offensive line, because it is young. They have some guys playing in positions that they didn't necessarily play in high school, and I think that they played really well today, though we did hear a lot from linemen of Judson today.
Second down run goes to James Zillinger, and Zillinger, not a whole lot there, is going to set up third down as the clock rolls under 6 minutes and 30 seconds. You have to think, if you're Judson, you're going to get the ball back at least one more time, and I think it would mean a lot to them to finish that with a score.
Yeah, putting up one more score would be nice. It obviously bodes well for, like, the averages too, right? I think the past 3 weeks they've scored 22 points or more. One more touchdown would get you 4 weeks in a row with 22 points or more, and typically 20 points is a good number to shoot for.
Williams on third down weaves his way past the first down marker and all the way near the 25, a pickup of 11 on the play. And the clock will just continue to roll.
But you shoot for anywhere between 20 to 28 points, and typically your offense is going to have done enough to keep you in football games in the majority of the games that you've played. The issue is that Judson's defense, up to this point, actually including this point, has allowed about 46 points per game, and that's just really hard to do. And I think it's been a little bit of the ineffectiveness of Judson's offense. You know, we saw today how many times they were 3 and out. They also accumulated throughout the day just 10 first downs. St. Francis is 21. They were 0 for 10 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down. And so I think that it's not necessarily entirely on Judson's defense. We had this conversation earlier. I think that they're just asked to do a lot week in and week out.
Second down with 5 minutes to play here in the fourth. St. Francis, one of the few passes we've seen this quarter, way too far ahead by Maffei. He had a man open, and he just let him a little bit too far. That's going to stop the clock with 4:59 to go.
And bring up a third down. Caleb Davis was back deep in coverage. Probably the closest man there to making a catch. But a big third down here, and on the day, St. Francis, 7 of 17 on third down. That's good for 41%.
Taking a look at the flip side, it's been an area that Judson has really struggled. 0 for 10. Third down, Zillinger is not going to get it. Going to bring up fourth down. The question, do you kick? Do you try maybe run for the first down and take off some more clock? Decision time now for Joe Curry.
If I'm Joe Curry, this is my decision, I would say keep the offense out there and run the ball. And even if you don't pick it up, you know you're going to likely win the game. You're going to win the game. And you run an additional 40 seconds of game time off the clock if this is managed correctly. So I think this probably goes to the belly of a running back. Even if they don't pick it up, nobody's mad.
Yeah, I'm not convinced they're going to snap it. Nope. Timeout taken by St. Francis with 4:15 to go. We'll keep it here. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori. I'm curious to see what the fourth down play call is. And if you're Judson, you're really hoping to get a stop so you can get one more crack on offense.
Yeah, and one more, like, full crack on offense, right? Like, if it's a first down here, more time comes off the clock, you might see the ball one more time. But, like, with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, or 4 minutes and, let's say, 5 seconds left after the fourth down play, you'd have a more realistic shot at driving down the field and having a real game time situation that you can work on. You know, whether it's a 2-minute drill, 4-minute drill, whatever it is, you can focus in on running that sequence of plays and working on that chemistry. But we'll see if they even come out here with the offense. It could be that they just elect to kick the field goal here, but no, here comes Eric Maffei.
I'm curious what the play call is here on fourth down. I haven't seen Maffei throw all that much. James Williams has gotten the ball a lot on this drive.
I think it might just be the same thing. You got a full 40 seconds run off the clock, and yeah.
Maffei play fake, rolls left. He's got it with his legs, instead throws across his body. Late flag comes in, and there's a touchdown. Found his tight end, Jack Friddle. Question is, will it stand? Nope.
An eligible man downfield.
An eligible man downfield. Fourth down. Now I think you have to probably kick.
I would assume so. You would think anyway. They could also just try to get this kid Friddle another shot in the end zone. Either way, that's the thing here in this situation. Either way they go, it doesn't matter. So they can go for the field goal. They can throw it towards the end zone again. They can try for a first down. They're going to leave the offense out there.
You surprised by this?
Leaving the offense out there? No. I think this is just another way to try to drain down as much clock as you can, because you snap the ball, another 5 to 8 seconds run off the clock depending on what you do, and then Judson takes over. So they'll get it with about under 4 minutes to go if the first down's not completed.
Far sideline, pass is broken up. Cameron Carter able to break it up, and it's going to be a turnover on downs, and Judson with possibly their last shot on offense with 4:04 to go.
Yeah, this likely will be their last shot on offense. So this is a situation, if I'm Dan Paplazik, I'm going into this huddle of my offense, and I'm saying take every play as seriously as you can, execute to the best of your ability, and let's carry some of what momentum we had here in the second half. There were some good there was a scoring drive, some good pass plays and such. Let's take what momentum we do have, carry it over to next week. And so this is a big drive here.
45-16 our score. Judson led 8-0 after the first quarter, but 45 unanswered points made it 45-8. Judson was able to get on the board 2 series ago. First down, Christian Miller all day finds Ovante Vickers near the marker as he takes a shot on the far sideline.
Yeah, and the only thing that makes that hurt a little bit less if you're Ovante Vickers is the fact that you don't know if somebody's coming down hard on you or not. You just kind of take that hit in the back and you're a little bit looser as opposed to real tight. So that's the only thing that makes that hurt less, is you don't know where the hit's coming and how hard.
9 yards is going to, they give him a full first down. They give him a full 10. Keontae Fox limps off the field. Clock continues to run, 3:38 to go. Miller to Mackey. Mackey weaves through, still on his feet, past midfield and into St. Francis territory, all the way out to the 48 for a pickup of about 20.
Yeah, good run there, ripped off by Mackey. I don't think we're going to see him eclipse the 100-yard mark today, but he is at 62 yards on 18 carries.
Game clock will not stop following a first down until we're under the 2-minute mark. 2 receivers to both sides. Christian Miller, clean pocket, steps up and gets maybe a yard or 2. Good job not taking the sack, not forcing it, just picking up a couple there.
Right, and I think that's a play right there that tells you that Miller's taking this really seriously, still taking good care of the ball, not throwing it listlessly into double coverage or really close man coverage down the field, was willing to take his 2 or 3 yards and go on to second down as we're under 2.5 to play.
St. Francis brings pressure. Mackey bounces it out to the outside, stiffs arm a man, still on his feet as the first down, and then some, all the way close to the 30. Sharon Boyd on the carry. Sharon Boyd, a couple of nice touches on this drive.
Most definitely. Ripped off a 15-yarder. Sharon Boyd, running back number 3 around here, but certainly gets some valuable touches during the course of a game. This year, he coming into today at 16 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. Add another carry and 15 yards to that.
First down run. Ooh, the speedster. Nigel Bruce. Haven't seen a whole lot of Nigel Bruce this season, and he turns what looked to be a loss on the play into about 5 yards.
Yeah, Nigel Bruce got a good burst. Remember, that was the starting running back for this squad in Week 1, Game 1 last year. So he is a valuable player. 2021 MSFA Football Scholar Athlete is Nigel Bruce.
Under 90 seconds to go. St. Francis trying to keep Judson out of the end zone. Judson trying to get one more score before this one comes to an end. Bruce switches from the right side to the left side. Tipped and nearly intercepted. Couldn't be hung on to by Mekhi Van. Had a chance.
Yeah, and that pass probably needs a little bit more touch to get to Alex Siebens. Mekhi Van, great job getting a hand up, and he knew he missed one right there. Came back down. All DBs, they act like the world is ending when they don't make that interception play, but still a very good play by number 34 in white.
Third down and about 5 to go for Judson. The clock is stopped at 1:03. Miller sprints right, makes a man miss. He should have enough for the first down, if not really close. They don't give him the first down. The clock will roll, and they need less than a yard to move the chains.
That looked like a designed run for Christian Miller, too. And I think now, if you really want to keep this drive going, this might be a solid situation for QB sneak if you're willing to use a timeout. If you're not, then I say try to shoot this ball towards the end zone as we're at 30 seconds of game time left.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing a run here just to stop the clock and then maybe a spike. Miller finds his man past the marker. Clock will stop following the first down. 20.6 seconds, probably time for 2 or 3 plays. But you got to get these snaps off fast. The clock is running.
Fast and to the sideline.
Or past the marker.
Correct.
Miller, far sideline, fade ball, Siemens. Intercepted, but he couldn't get a foot down. Jalen Cooper out of bounds and looks to be a little shaken up on the play.
Yeah, Cooper is down. They're going to be calling the trainers over here. He's still down and on his back, and teammates tending to him.
Might have had the wind knocked out of him. He got up pretty high and fell right on his back. Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
No, and a contested ball with Alex Siebens. You hope it's wind being knocked out, right? Because you come into the ground like that, it can be anything that gets caught under your back, a knee, an elbow, a football, right? And any of that can lead to the wind getting knocked out of you. So we hope that's the extent of it, but no speculation.
8.9 seconds remain in this one. Probably time for 2 more plays. If you're head coach Dan Plesac, what are you telling Christian Miller in the offense?
Get it in the end zone, right? I think if you're Judson, don't pull out necessarily your best play because you don't really want that on film here. But whatever your play is from the cusp of the goal line that you like, but isn't your number one play, run that here. Maybe it's a deep post to Vickers or something of that nature that gets you open in the middle of the field. I would assume that there's probably going to be 3 deep defensive backs here, so maybe something that sits maybe towards the middle of the field and a little bit more shallow than a post, but something probably towards the middle of the field. Call a timeout and then run your final play.
You still do have your timeouts. I don't know if Plesac wants to use them down 45-16.
Yeah, an execution thing, right? It's practice for him to in a situation like this, run through the motions and get that kind of stuff squared away as well for himself. It's good practice all the way around. But
second down, ball on the 23. Judson looking to find the end zone with 8.9 seconds to go. Miller rolls left, stays up, throws into the ground. Clock stops with 3.1 seconds. And I don't know, do you want to get your kicker some practice? Do you want to see if Colino can hit from here? Probably not, right?
No, I think I actually believe that I saw Colino walk in the sidelines undressed. I don't even know that they have a place kicker at the moment, so I think this is a shot to go towards the end zone. But one thing's for certain, they're on to Roosevelt next week, and that'll be at Morris Field in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Future home of the Bears, question mark.
A run with 3.9 seconds. Nigel Bruce taken down for a loss. Tackle made by Mackay Van, and that's your ball game. St. Francis has now won 4 straight. They take care of Judson 45-16. We'll take a brief timeout. When we return, we'll recap and then get you ready for next week's game as Judson hits the road against the Roosevelt. It's coming up next here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. Final today here from Streamwood High. It's Judson falling to St. Francis. 45-16, the St. Francis Fighting Saints, after losing their first 2 games to open the season, have won 4 straight and 3 consecutive in conference play. As for Judson, they are now 1-5 and still winless in conference play. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori as we get ready to break it down for you. Ryan, it looked like Judson was going to maybe pull off the upset. Got the 68-yard interception return for Maitrez Rawls, and then Brandon Mackey makes it 8-0 as he runs it in from 2 yards out on the 2-point conversion attempt. But St. Francis, despite not scoring in the first quarter, get 24 straight to end the first half, and, well, they never looked back.
No, they didn't, and I think they ran a really great game. They ran their game. Sam Tumulty ran all over the field. I think you said a couple times. He called his own number a bunch. First half alone, he had 18 carries for 131 yards, and he was able to get more done through the air in the second half. But it was just a really well-executed game by St. Francis. I think that Judson's defense played a good game, though on the scoreboard it's not going to look like that. But they did play a lot today. They were asked to do a ton the first half of this game. I don't think that the offense was on the field long enough, and I really feel like it was a tall task for Judson's defense. And again, you talk about the Eagles' offense. They were unable to pick up a lot of first downs today. I think in total they had 5, maybe 6, and it just was a tough day from take to take for the offense of Judson.
Yeah, it was a tough day for the Judson offense. 4 total turnovers, 3 interceptions. This St. Francis defense was absolutely outstanding. They kept the Eagles under 100 yards rushing, got the turnovers, got the pressure, and ultimately, even the fast start was just not enough for Judson to pull off the win. Also, when you talk about the offensive struggles, third down was a rough day. 0 for 12 on third down for Judson. But if you're Coach Poplazik, you recognize that your team has some weaknesses, and you get to go to the drawing board this week and see if you can rectify it.
Yeah, and I think that Coach Poplazik probably saw that his offense that he likes to run runs best with Christian Miller under center. Isaiah Carrillo is going to have a great career here at Judson. But I think for right now, Christian Miller is the guy that you need to go to for the rest of the season. He has the pocket presence and awareness to, I think, get the ball off in the right situations, to the right guy, in the right spot. And I just think that that's probably what they learned today, is that they can't simply rely on Brandon Mackey. They're going to have to throw the ball downfield too and be creative. And I think that Christian Miller gives them the best chance to do that.
Yeah, and we talked about the St. Francis defense, again, the 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, but we can't finish this broadcast without touching on Clifton Jimerson's performance. He finished with 4 tackles for loss, including a sack. This defense, yes, they gave up 45 points, but you have to remember it had a short field many times. They came to play, and they did an okay job against this St. Francis offense.
I think they did. I think especially the defensive line and the front 7 had a really great game. You can point to the yardage that was picked up by Tumulty, but I don't think that necessarily tells the whole story. You had to watch this game, and you would see that there was a ton of opportunities created by the Judson D-line to make an impact on this game. Clifton Jimerson was a name we called a ton today because he had a phenomenal game and was impacting things all over the field.
Well, that does it for us here at Streamwood High on this chilly Saturday afternoon. The final one more time. Judson falls to St. Francis 45-16. The Eagles hit the road next week, hoping to get their first conference win of the season against Roosevelt. As for St. Francis, they are 4-2, 3-0 in conference play, and they are back at home in Joliet against St. Ambrose. He's Ryan Sartori. I'm Jared Schlensky. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks when Judson plays host to St. Xavier. Have a great rest of your day.